Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to One Hub Racing and to our very first event on F1 2020. It's the Ukraine Will Make It pre-season tournament. 20 drivers will be competing in their own team for the next 2 weeks over 4 25% races. We'll go through that in more detail in a minute. My name's Jess, one of your commentators throughout the next 2 weeks, and joining me in the commentary box is Austin. How are you doing tonight, Austin?
I'm doing fantastically, Jess, and for me as well, a big welcome to everybody. And I think one thing we have to mention quite early on is that one of our competitors here tonight, and I can see him in the chat already here on YouTube, is also himself streaming on Twitch this very event and his races and his qualifying. That would be Liam13. So in case you want to go over and see his perspective as well, maybe you have a second monitor or just watch it on your phone. Twitch.tv/Liam13 if you want to go over to him and watch his perspective.
Yeah, he's one of our sponsors for now on, really. He's going to be sponsoring our trophies as well. So we'll return the favour and promoting his stream as well. And you get to see what life is like as a One Hub Racing driver. So, the two tracks that we are racing tonight is two very different ones. One of the longest tracks on the calendar we're going to first, which is Belgium. And then the next track tonight will be Brazil. I almost forgot which track it was. And for the first race, qualifying is going to be decided by a a full qualifying session, Q1, Q2 and Q3. A few drivers couldn't make Q1 tonight, so that leaves us with only 17 drivers fighting to not be eliminated for this qualifying session. And then it'll be Q2 where they have to fight to be in the top 10, and whoever qualifies in the top 10, they'll have to start on the tyre they started their fastest lap on. And then Q3 will be a shot for pole. And it's great to see some familiar faces as well in this event tonight, and also some returning faces and also some new ones as well.
It's also interesting to see what sort of teams the drivers went for. We have a lot here. We have some teams from the past. We have an actual Honda team in here. That would be Irla T. Owen, my co-commentator from last season's Precision tier. We also have Lotus. Cloudy Balloons is going to drive for Lotus. And then we also have some hopes that maybe, certain manufacturers, certain brands are going to make it into F1 at some point, because Nick, the owner and one of the admins of One Hub, has decided to go with Audi Racing and brought that into the fold. So it's going to be really interesting. A couple drivers also went for their own teams. We have Danestar, or he's now known pretty much Xenovia, I hope I pronounced that correctly, with his Xenovia QR team. We have Westy from Westside Racing. So you can see where they're coming from with their names. Jamie Metcalf with Metcalf Grand Prix, and so on and so forth. So really, really interesting mix here of teams and team names. I gotta say, the logos look fantastic.
Yeah, they're on the screen right now. I've got to say, massive props to Luke, our graphics designer and our co-owner at One Hub Racing, for actually designing those. I mean, I couldn't have done that better myself. Well, I couldn't have done that well. So, yeah, I'll just pick out a few drivers that we haven't mentioned. We went through a few now. We got Pav Racing for Pav 095 racing for Pav Racing. BLR Laser the Twig racing for Botanico Leon Racing. And we got Vitinho as well racing for Kelly Racing. Stevie Hart as well racing for Hart Racing Team. Rich 500 racing for Tank Slapper Motorsport. I absolutely love that name.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a classic. Eva Hannon racing for I think it's VRT. Yeah, I think it's his own esports team, I believe. Well, one of the esports teams he's in. Astronauty racing for, I can't even read this, ART. Yeah, Liam 13 obviously is racing for his own team, 13 Racing. And Cloudy Balloons racing for Lotus, as we explained earlier. I don't think... And he's actually changed his gamer tag back to Cloudy. Thank the Lord. I don't have to pronounce whatever his gamer tag is.
Yeah, that was one of the running stories of all of last season, really, of season 15. The name changes of Cloudy Balloons and his, his fables under the different names of when he was Asahina, and when he was Kovalainen, when he was, what else did he have? Tenmuji. I don't remember the rest. There were a couple other ones. It was wild, but yeah, he is back to being Cloudy Balloons, thankfully, and we all love to see that.
Yeah, and we've got VSR Onyx racing for his own esports team, Visual Racing. He's one of the drivers who could not make the full qualifying session, but he'll be joining us shortly in the race, and he'll be starting at the back of the grid. And we'll talk more about Onyx later on because he's a mega fast driver. Dexter as well, racing for the Viking racing team. I love that. Kingen racing as well for a team name I cannot pronounce. Edmar Racing.
I think it's Edemir. Edemir Racing.
Edemir. Okay.
It looks because he's from Sweden, so this looks like maybe it's a Swedish word, maybe it's a Swedish brand or something. It looks kind of Swedish, and so I think it's pronounced Edemir.
Yeah, indeed. And then we got Indecisive Matt racing for FND Racing, and he's actually got a special reason why he chose that name. We'll go through in a minute. When we got TB racing for Zing Consult, and then a returning face to the league, B-Star has rating for Haas F1. Not to be confused for Haas F1, I must say. So we're going to get started with the qualifying for Belgium. And we'll just have a quick look at the track map before we go to qualifying. So it's a 4.3 mile circuit, 7 kilometers going through the Ardennes forest. And there's going to be 2 DRS zones tonight. One at the start finish straight heading towards La Source. And then we've got one heading towards the Kemmel Straight. And it should be 2 great overtaking opportunities for this qualifying session tonight. And let's get started with qualifying.
Yeah, indeed. And one thing that I've always experienced, and especially here in F1 2020, I've done my own laps around Belgium quite a bit. One thing I found interesting was that the DRS straight on the start-finish straight isn't really a good overtaking opportunity because it's just too short. A much better overtaking opportunity, despite not having DRS, but still very, very good to overtake there, is all the way when you look at turn 14 coming out of Stavelot there, and then 15, 16, 17 Blanchimont, and then into the bus stop chicane. A fantastic overtaking opportunity and no DRS needed at all, because once you come out of Stavelot, out of turn 14, it's flat from there.
Yeah, I mean, that DRS sometimes can be powerful in this game, and obviously due to the new overtaking system that they've got to use in the races, that can prove to be crucial when it comes to ERS management, obviously, in this game. That's the new change, and obviously in qualifying, they only have 2 modes really to worry about. They've got mode 0, which is none, and obviously they got hot lap mode as well, but they got to be careful they don't use the deployment limit very quickly. And what I've noticed on this game is obviously the deployment limit goes up a little bit too quickly if you're going full throttle and pushing it most of the time. So they just got to be a bit wary on that as well. I think most people on a lap already. I'm just trying to see if anyone's on their out lap that we're about to do a hot lap.
Cloudy.
We got Cloudy, there we go. That's good timing. So it gives us a chance to look at all these lovely liveries as well, because these are in multiplayer cars as well. Some drivers have chosen to go for their team colours. Some of them have just gone for something completely different. But yeah, that's one of my favourite liveries on the game to start with. But yeah, we're going to go on board with a hot lap with Cloudy, who was in position tier last season, still getting used to no assist, of course. So you're going through turn 1, heading through into La Source, a heavy braking zone as you're now going through up the hill and coming up towards El Rouge, which some can agree is easy on this game and some can agree that it's a lot harder, but honestly I prefer it to be a lot easier, as he's getting the DRS power slightly later than he was intended, but he's going to go full power here at 205 miles per hour, and a lot of RPM here going into the Kemmel Straight and going through to Lecombe, kissing the right hand curb a little bit as he then goes through to Bruxelles, as he's got a car, I think, just finished his flying lap, and he's moved out of the way for them just fine, as he now goes to third gear, heading in towards the corner of No Name. I don't know why they called it the corner of No Name, but that's probably because they haven't named it a corner. And now he's going to head towards pull on, then going into, he was in 8th, now going back into 7th gear, then back into 8th gear as he goes approaching Stabilo. There's a few yellow flags that might have compromised his run just a little bit. I think Astronaut is going 30, he's moving out the way, and now heading towards the Paul Frere corner into Blanchemont. Now this is where you can go really full power, as Cloudy Balloons has gone purple set to 2, so he's really starting to push it at the moment in his green power car, of course. Not as fast as the Camel Straight at the moment, but he's really going full throttle at the moment. His deployment limit is good at the moment, so he should be fine as he heads towards the line, going into full power, of course. So he might have time to get another lap. We'll have to wait and see as he comes across the line. He's 16th at the moment. What is it going to be? It's going to be 9th place for Cloudy with a 144.5.
Yeah, and one thing to note about No Name Corner, because you were wondering a little bit why it's called No Name Corner, it actually has a couple of names. So for the longest time, it never really had a name, because most corners around here are named after sort of villages that are very close, because obviously it's in the Ardennes forest, but a lot of villages are nearby. For example, we have obviously Stavilo, and Stavilo is a village that is really close to the track. And it's sort of like right there where the corner of Stavilo is. The issue with No Name Corner is it's sort of inside the track. You're taking the 180-degree corner downhill of Bruxelles that, for example, Cloudy is in right now. And then you get to No Name Corner. It's like on this sort of steep... You saw it there on the right side. It's very steep there. And there's nothing there, no landmark, nothing really that you can name it after. And that's why for the longest time it had the name, or yeah, it really never had a name. At some point they just went, okay, there's No Name Corner. However, it also has the name Speaker's Corner due to the fact that the track announcer, back in the day when Spa was a little bit different, that spot, that corner was the first time the track announcer saw the cars again after they came out of the forest. And it also has the name Jackie X Corner, because obviously you have to honor a man from Belgium, an icon, a legend on the Belgian track. And so someone just suggested Jackie X Corner. All three names are pretty much in use for turn 9, and choose whichever one you like the most.
Yeah, exactly. And for most of these corners, I can't even pronounce, so I'm just going to stick to No Name, and Austin will probably call it something else, and you'll probably most of it you know is No Name, so I'm going to call it that as well. So, for those of you that were noticing, we have one driver that's already crashed out of qualifying, and that was Pav. And I was noting as I was riding on board with someone going through to Lacombe, I think he binned it heading towards Bruchal, so that's not good for him, as he's going to be starting where near the likes of Onyx is going to be, so he's going to try and find his way on the grid. And we also got a few people that are saying very good lap times. Beast has a 1:41.8. He's already saying a statement already that he's back for business, and he has signed up this season for season 16, and a few other people on this grid have signed up as well. Obviously, a few people have chosen not to tell us if they signed up yet. They choose to remain a secret, but it's great to see Austin, a returning face, on top of the timing sheets at the moment.
Yeah, it's always good to see someone return back to action, and especially someone like Beast has with the history he's had here in One Hub. Great to see him back, and I'm looking at Danestar's livery right now. He's showing off that he's completed the podium pass, the new addition to F1 2020, with the splatter decal, which you only get, the splatter livery, I should say, which you only get if you complete the premium podium pass at level 30, at tier 30, and he's obviously done that. As we now have most of the drivers in the pit lane, I think for some of them, that's going to be it. I don't think Beast has Ivahan and Danestar, Vitinha. I don't think we're going to see them out on track for the rest of Q1. They seem very safe up there. You got to remember, we only have 2 spots that will drop out, and one of them pretty much predetermined at this point is going to be Pav, as he has crashed out, so he will most likely start from either P16 or P17, and there we go, with another driver setting a time. I couldn't even see who that was.
I didn't see who it was. I was not paying attention.
Yeah, but that was one of the 2 drivers who were behind Pav, so the only one left there is Jamie, and that means that Pav is definitely eliminated here. So it's really just don't be the last driver out of the 16 that are still in it.
Yeah, basically, all it takes is quite a few invalidations, because obviously on this game, some corners around Belgium can be a little bit harsh on the track limit. So if you mess up there, then that's your pretty much qualifying done and dusted if you miss it. And for some of these guys as well, even if they think they've done enough, some people may opt to go out again, and it may come back to bite them. If you crash out, and if you set a lap that is good enough to get into Q2, it's like in real life. There's no way you're going to get your car repaired for Q2, so that will be them out of the session as well. So it's a double-edged sword in a way. If you know you're going to be safe, there's no point going out again. And I've seen times almost at esports level when the 141's 140. So yeah, Beastaz, I think he's going to be safe. Everyone else, I think, will probably just go out for one more lap. There's two drivers still yet to set a lap time. They're probably going to be on one-shot quali mode, I think, at the moment. That's Owen and Jamie. Jamie just set a lap, actually. 144.3. That puts him 11th at the moment. So at the moment, he's safe. Right now, the person that's obviously in the cut-off point at the moment is Owen, but he's still yet to set a lap time. So we probably expect him to go up a little bit there as well. Other people in danger: Stevie, Indecisive, Cloudy Balloons as well. And Indecisive's, I like Indecisive livery. He is raising awareness for the FND Foundation tonight. That's why he's chosen the team and his team colours today, which I feel like is very touching. I think there's a few drivers that came up with creative ways, but that one really touched me. So I'm impressed with some of these drivers who came up with the effort. I may have just slapped a livery on them. Boom, there you go. These guys actually put in a lot of thought.
Yeah, what I would have done, I was thinking about participating, but as you know, as everyone probably at this point knows, I much more enjoy being in the commentary box than being in the car out on track. As fun as that is, but certainly in a competitive environment, I'd much rather be the guy talking about it than the guy driving and most likely bottling it. But I probably would have just gone for a German style livery, black, red, and gold, and just call it a day there. But the drivers definitely very, very different, and some of them just really, I mean, all of them look really good, but gotta say, much effort has gone into these. And Owen, after now 14 minutes of the session have already been over, has finally made his way out on track in the Honda. And this is the Honda that is inspired by the Earth livery, I think. Yeah, that's what he's going for. Obviously, we don't have the Earth livery on the game, but that is the Earth livery Honda colors for sure. And I think that's the look he was going for. I gotta say, it's really risky from him to just stay in the pit lane for the first 14 and a half minutes almost of this qualifying session, make it a one-shot qualifying for himself. If he invalidates, he's out. That's the harsh reality.
He did invalidate before. That's why.
He was out before. Okay. Because I'm looking at the race director and I'm not seeing that he set a single lap time. Maybe he just aborted the lap straight away.
Yeah.
But I thought he wasn't out on track at all. But generally, I'm still surprised that he just gives himself 2 shots, and one of them is Stevie now retires. Also, there seems to be a timing glitch because it says indecisive map within 147.
He crashed out. He crashed in El Rouge on the track map. So that's him out. That's him out of qualifying. That's his qualifying done. So if you do crash out on this in Q1, then that's it. That's your qualifying session over.
Yeah, but at the same time, hold on, I'm confused now. He set a better lap time than Indecisive Mac.
Yeah, so, but when people crash out, that puts them near the bottom, and that means that they're in danger.
Okay, but why?
Don't ask me. Ask Codemasters.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry.
It's something that I need to know the answer to that as well. But there we go. And with 1 minute to go, some people are kind of a bit fine as well. I would have to say I think the top 10, actually no, the top 8, I would say. I think should be fine on top 9. I don't even know, but everyone's out. Is pretty much a lot of people are going out for their final lap. I'm surprised that Dane Star's going out. I thought he would play it safe and not go out, but he is going for another lap. I guess he wants some glory points, I guess. And just a quick mention on the prizes. Whoever wins the championship, because it's a 2-week championship with 4 rounds, they get a £10 PSN gift card and a medal. And we had never been given out a medal in One Hub Racing. I want to see what it's like. I'm a bit jealous right now, but that's what they win anyway, which they could put towards whatever they choose. Maybe they could put themselves towards liveries on the game, or maybe get podium pass, because I think you can get podium pass on this game, but or they might choose something different. We'll see. But they've got a lot to fight for. It's not just racing for fun. They've got a prize to live up to, and it's only the winner that gets the prize, not the top 3.
Yeah, and meanwhile Owen is heading towards Blanchimont here. We're going to explain the point system and everything else later on, because it is a little bit different to real life F1. But meanwhile, Owen comes through the bus stop chicane, will set a lap time. Where is this going to put him? It's not invalid, and my God, it is P3. I mean, that's a statement. 15 seconds before the end of the session, haven't set a lap time, you go out there, one shot, and you nail it. 142.3, just half a second behind Beast has there. That's a pretty good lap right there.
That's fantastic from him. Obviously, he was quicker on the last game, and he's not liking this game too much. But when he sets a time, it is quick. Obviously, he's been in many leagues before, and he was even champion in one league as well. So that is just because you're a commentator, it doesn't mean you're slow. He is one of those commentators who's a quick driver as well. So he's invalidated, so he can't go again, but he'll be going into the pits anyway. The ones who are in danger, I can't see who's in 14th. They're greyed out for me.
See it either. That's something that we did have last season as well.
Jamie. I'm sure that's Jamie. That's Jamie. I think
Let
that's
me
Jamie.
just quickly check to make sure I can look at the profile.
Indecisive's invalidated. That's him done for qualifying. So.
And yes, it is Jamie.
Yeah, it is Jamie.
No.
Indecisive invalidated. So that's him done for qualifying, and he is out. So pretty much everyone that's on the lap right now, they could just go into the pits and make sure they're safe, really, to be honest. And
I mean, they're safe either way. They would drop down probably to 14th at this point. If they were to crash. Yeah. But yeah, just take it slow, just calm down. And Jamie has rejoined, and Jamie has left the session again. His name has reappeared, thankfully. But yeah, that is Indecisive Mac out of the session. Pav in 17, Mac in 16, and Stevie, as he crashed, will remain in P15 as the crew will not get his car fixed in time. So that's pretty much qualifying 1 over. We still have Cloudy coming into the pits, and every second now, or any second now, this should move on to Q2.
So Onyx is not here. We got TB that's not here, and Westy. So those 3 drivers will be starting at the back alongside Pav, Indecisive, and Stevie Hart as well. So that means we only got 14 drivers competing for the top 10. But for some of these drivers, it will be a blessing in disguise. More of a chance to actually get in to the final stages of qualifying. And the cut-off point is going to be even more crucial. The times will get even quicker as the session goes on, as the track starts to evolve. And we could see getting into the 143s, maybe into the 142s is probably the best option for some of these drivers. But you can see even in the 143 range, if you make a mistake by a few tenths, that puts you out. So a few of these drivers need to step it up in Q2 if they want to make it to have their best shot in the first 25% race of the night.
Yeah, 2 things to remember. 1, it's only 15 minutes in Q2, so they don't have the full 18 minutes that they had this time around. It's going to all be a little bit more pressed for time. And the second thing to remember, maybe, just maybe, P11 or P12 isn't going to be that bad after all, because you can always run the alternate strategy, start on some fresh mediums if you're really struggling with tire wear hards, but it should be the mediums, and just pit later, although it's 25% anyway. So run the alternate strategy, mediums to softs, and, you know, just go a little bit deeper into the race. And then maybe, just maybe with some overtaking at the end of the race, you can gain some position. Certainly around this track right here, around Spa, overtaking opportunities are aplenty, and it should be a good opportunity here for a driver to go on the alternate strategy and actually make some moves late in the race.
Yeah, indeed. So you can see on your screen the 3 drivers have been knocked out of qualifying as well, with Pav the only driver out of those 2 to not set a time. And we'll actually go through the point system now whilst we load into Q2, because obviously they're gonna go on their out laps at the moment. So, and luckily for you guys, the point system is simple. It's not the usual 25, 18, 15 or whatever. First place, if they win a race, they get 20 points. Second place, 19 points, and it's 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, all the way down to 1 point, which means if they finish, then they're more than guaranteed to get a point. So if you retire, let's say, in P13, because obviously Belgium tends to throw a cracker in terms of retirements at times, you'll still get points. So actually, no, you won't get points because you're not finishing. But if you're, it gives you an incentive just to not give up and keep going, basically. And if they do it through the regular season enough, then they'll be in the running for a special award, which was announced on the Season 16 trailer, the Going Gets Tough award. It's not up for grabs tonight, obviously, but obviously if they finish every race, complete every media day interview, they're up for the running for it. So at least it gives them a warm-up for that as well. As 3 drivers are out already, with Ibahanen, Jamie and Kingen, and Jamie's name is still not popping up on the screen, which is annoying.
For me it is.
At least you can see it, that's good. But interestingly, Danestar, the only driver so far out on the medium tyres. Everybody out or else out on the softs, because Belgium is one of those tracks you can do soft to mediums fine. So I'm a bit shocked about Danestar. Maybe Danestar would go for the alternate strategy, but I wonder if you'll realise with a few minutes to go, will this medium time be quick enough to seal him through to Q3? That it could be a risk, but knowing how Danestar is really quick, he was second in the position tier last season, then it could work for him, but he needs to watch out for some of the guys that want to go on the soft just so they can make it into Q3. So risk worth taking, but Danestar has just got to be quick and get his first lap done right off the back. So I do believe they only have 1 set of mediums in the session and the rest are softs, depending on what they've chosen for their weekend tyre allocation. So I'm a bit intrigued to see what Danestar can do in this Q2 session.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. But looking at the result that we had in Q1, he was 3rd, and he was 1.7 seconds ahead of the cutoff point in what would have been the cutoff point here in Q2, meaning P11. So the mediums aren't that slow. They aren't 1.7 seconds slower. He takes a very wide entry here onto the start-finish straight as well. Yeah, very, very interesting to see here. You want to gain every little bit of an advantage that you can find. And
I've just been disconnected.
Yeah, I just saw that. I hope you can rejoin.
Hopefully. Sorry about that, guys.
I can do a little bit of radio commentary if that's necessary. I've done that before.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because we have notification in the chat there that there is going to be rain at the end of the race. So this might be why we see Danestar on the mediums. Maybe he's thinking, you know what? Let's start on the mediums, see how long we go. And once the rain hits, hey, I can just switch to the intermediates, whereas everyone else started on the softs, switched on to the mediums, and then had to pit again. So maybe he's setting himself up for success here. Saw that weather report, decided, you know what, I'm going to gamble. I have the speed, I have the pace, I have the lap times. I can try. And I think this is what we're seeing here. Is no one has set a lap time yet. We are still waiting on some of the drivers to come through, as Danestar has invalidated his lap, actually. I can't see, unfortunately, who the first one is who will set a lap time. It might... No, Jamie has invalidated. This is going to get really tricky here for me. Kingen is going to be the first one. There you go. He comes to the final corner. and runs out of ERS right on the start finish straight, and it's a 143.4. That would have been enough. He actually improves by 3/10 on the last session on Q1, on his Q1 time, as Westy has now joined. Jess, are you back?
Not yet. I'm just gonna. I don't know what's happening with my PSN tonight because I think it happened earlier on today as well. So it might be a bug with my PlayStation. I'm not sure. Gotta know what happens tonight, really. But there we go. I'm trying to get in.
Do you have spare invites? Or?
No, I don't think so. I think Nick's only given me one invite.
may I guide? Or do you know how to join without an invite?
Cloudy. Thanks, Cloudy. Cloudy sending me an invite. Thanks, Cloudy.
There you go. That's one way to do it. No, you can actually invite from the menu now.
Oh, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't the thing from F1 2019.
That's a good thing. So, that's what I'll be asking commentators to do if a few people disconnect. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, another way to do it is if you just press the PlayStation button, you hold it for a bit so that the menu opens up, the side menu, not the full menu, and then you go to F1 2020 and other sessions, and if you have at least one friend in the lobby, you should be able to join.
Oh, that's cool. I've got 2 spare invites, so hopefully I should get in, fingers crossed. Hopefully anyway. Hopefully I won't get communicating with online services. I'm trying to get in.
Meanwhile, the standings right now are Beast House in P1, 141.9, slightly off the pace in Q1, and you have joined actually. Owen in P2, 142.5. He's also lost a little bit of time there to his Q1 time. Rich in P3, 142.6. He has actually improved by over half a second, 0.6 gained there. So that's a massive jump. Vitinho in P4, 142.7. For him, a slight loss there of 0.3. And then we have Kingen as... Astronaut EMP5, 143.3. Lost to 10th. Kingen in P6, 143.4. Slight improvement by 0.3. Lazy the Twig, 43.7. Actually improved slightly as well. He was P10 in Q1. So he's going to be sort of the guy that we might have to look at regarding... Will he make it in? Will he not make it in? Dexter 44.0, slight improvement by a 10th, but not enough. It still would not have been enough. Right now he's in P8, so that's fine. But at the same time, there are still 6 drivers who have not set a lap time due to various reasons. I think the most common one being that they've actually left the track at some point and invalidated their lap time.
I'm in the lobby and I can see cars on track. Hopefully it stays that way, Codemasters, because otherwise I'm going to, have a little fit. I'm joking. We got to remain professional, guys. We got to remain professional. We got to set an example, So, yeah, interestingly, that they're not going full at it at the moment, especially when the cut-off point is going to be quite at a low operating window for some of these guys. Nick also on the mediums as well, who's setting a purple sector 2. Now that's interestingly on 1 lap old mediums.
Yeah, there is a glitch there that it shows purple sector when it's not actually a purple sector, so I wouldn't really... As Owen, what has happened there? Did he retire in the pit lane, or did he just...
Yeah, he did. He retired in the pit.
Okay.
Oh, I lost connection again.
Okay.
For goodness sake, what's going on tonight?
I'm going to send you a couple invites just for good measure.
I literally don't know what's going on with my PlayStation tonight.
Yeah, it might be a PSN issue.
It was fine last night. Right, let me switch the screen again. What screen? I'm trying to find the screen. There we go.
There you go.
Whilst I try and because it might be that I'll need to sort out the configuration on my internet on this PlayStation, most likely. So just give me a second.
Yeah. Meanwhile, before you dropped out, you had mentioned Nick, and he is on the mediums. And the interesting thing, so his time now that he's set is a 1:43.3. He's behind Astronaut in P6 right now, out of 10 drivers. Cloudy Balloon set a time 1:44.2, but as you mentioned, Nick was on the medium. So right now, if no one improves, only the guys who haven't set a lap time yet, and they all get a. My apologies. They all get ahead of Nick. Then Nick would still be in P10.
Ooh.
And if you look at the guys who are down in 11th and below, we have Liam, Eva Hannon, Jamie, and Danestar. And Danestar was P3, Eva Hannon was P2. So they should definitely make it towards the top. But at the same time, Jamie was P14 and Liam was P13. So they need to find some time. In fact, it's going to be really tricky for them to find that much time that they can make it past Nick, who's now in P7, as Liam actually did find that time. Improved by 9/10 over his Q1 time. He found some serious pace there.
That was amazing. I mean, if you want to find out how he's doing from a driver's perspective, don't forget to check out his stream, twitch.tv/Liam13. He is live right now, and I think his fans will be a bit happy with that, and I believe it's his first race on the wheel as well. So that is impressive.
Yeah, and he's doing another one. 2 fast laps in a row. He doesn't even wait for a cooldown lap or anything. He's going straight for another one, and he's actually up by 0.5 And as I say that, I probably jinxed him, as he invalidates by running wide in Puhon. And that is that lap over, as Danestar goes up to P5 now. 1:42.9 on the mediums. Absolutely amazing. P5 on the mediums. That is some Mercedes pace right there, as he is now on his cooldown lap. We're still waiting for Eva Hannon, as I'm having a little bit of an issue. Oh, there we go. A little bit of an issue with choosing a different driver there. But yeah, Eva Hannon and Jamie, the 2 drivers without a time, on outlaps right now, and trying to let someone else by there. Eva Hannon is on the Camel Straight, so not much of an issue. And I gotta say, Eva Hannon's helmet, yeah, that is also something else. Very bright blue there, with a bit of white. It fits the car, but yeah, it is something else. I'm torn. Let's just say that I'm a little bit torn. I don't know if it's good or bad. It's out there. Let's just say that it's a statement.
Yeah,
and I think you are back.
Hopefully, for goodness sake.
It happens. It's early in the game cycle, Jess. It happens.
Yeah,
those bugs and glitches.
Yeah, I think as far as I'm aware, Jamie is having a similar issue. He's having lost connections to PSN, where his internet's completely fine. And
I was about to say maybe it's a British thing, but at the same time, Nick seems to have no issues. Owen seems to have no issues. Lazy the Twig seems to have no issues. So maybe, I don't know, do you and Jamie live in the same region in England, or is this?
I don't even know.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Jamie is on a lap now.
We're here for now. We have to think of a different way to do this if it cuts out again, which I'm a bit worried about. But yeah, Eva Hannon's on a lap now, I believe. Yes, he is, as Danestar has retired from the session with he's committed to the medium strategy, which fair play to him. Like, I think he's going to be safe anyway, because I think the car point will be in the 143s, unless we see more people like Eva Hannon, like Jamie, going into the 142s as well. Don't forget, Jamie was obviously podiumed here when he was in season 13, and he's matching the guys that were obviously not in were in a higher tier than him, or in the same tier as well. Dexter was in podium tier last season. He made the cut as well, which is great to see, with his nice livery. Great to see a few British style liveries as well on the grid as well with 1 minute. And yeah, I think obviously BFAS is safe, Vitinho's safe, Owen I think will be safe, Rich, Danestar, everybody else. Yeah, they've got. I think everyone's got to go out again. Liam, I'm a bit worried about Liam, but I think he'll just about make it. Eva Hannon, I'm a bit worried about him if he's not going to get a lap if he's going to try and not invalidate. That's the question. He is our reigning podium tier champion, and Rich almost got in the way of him there. So,
yeah, it looks good for now for Iverhanen there. He hasn't invalidated so far, and I think invalidating in the bus stop chicane is quite a bit of a miracle. It is possible if you do take too much of a curb, but Iverhanen with his experience does steer clear and actually goes up to P3. So he should be safe for now. That would make at least 6 drivers who should be safe there. Interesting strategy from Nick. He qualified on the mediums his first run. 143.3. He's now out on the softs. So he's making sure that, you know, just in case he does get pushed out of the top 10, he has another ace up his sleeve, has the soft tires on his car, and he did a 142.6 in qualifying. No! He's also spun. Oh my, yellow flag in sector 2.
That is Nick. Luckily he didn't crash, otherwise that would have been his qualifying over.
He just spun, but he's facing the wrong way as well.
And he's going to get disqualified.
Nick.
Nick, what have you done, mate? What have you done?
I don't know if I need to tell Nick this. You should know this by now, but if you press the options button on PlayStation, you get an option that says reset to track.
The drivers are not allowed to do that.
Oh, they are not?
No.
Okay, well then, that's just unlucky.
Well, unless they're allowed to do it for the event, but I know for season 16, I know they're not allowed to. So, that leaves 3 drivers, three drivers at risk of being knocked out, really. Pretty much 4. Lazy is going to be out of qualifying. I think it's only up to Cloudy Balloons now. That stands for him. It's either him or Dexter that are going to be knocked out of Q2. And it is Dexter that gets knocked out. Cloudy gets through by the skin of his teeth by only 0.2 of a second. Everyone else doesn't need to go out again. They are safe as well. Liam as well made the gamble to not go out, and he is safe as well.
That means, had Nick not been disqualified, he would have been in P10. Cloudy would have been out.
Ooh.
With the 1 minute 43.3, Nick would have made it through. For Cloudy, it would not have been enough. So I would assume that Cloudy, after this qualifying session, will send a big gift over to Nick's house for that disqualification of that spin, and making his way into Q3 is Cloudy, along with Astronauty, Liam, King and Danestar, Rich, Owen, Iverhanen, Vitinho, and Beasthouse.
I think I've got to say the early favourite for potential pole is got to be Beasthouse. He got Q1 pole, obviously got Q2 pole earlier on as well with a similar time. I expect his Q3 time to be a lot faster, but bear in mind we got the likes of the guys that we were in the top 4 in Q1. They seem to be roughly there as well, with the exception of Danestar in 6th place. But obviously there's no restrictions on tyres in Q3 because you don't have to start on them. But everyone on the top 10, apart from Danestar, they will be going on the soft tyres for their first stint in 25%. And obviously the softs, they'll have to pick quite early on to get the undercut right on this game in this short 25% race, and this either could work for Danestar or not, depending on how quick he is. But if Danestar gets a top 3 in Q3, that's really gonna help him in this race. As 4 drivers have been knocked out. That's Dexter, Laser the Twig, Jamie, and Nick. Interestingly enough, 2 of the management members have been knocked out. Oh, tut, guys. You need to step up your game. You're letting us down.
Yeah, also, once again, that's why I'm not driving, really.
Because that's why I'm not driving. I'm here.
I probably would have just embarrassed myself in a similar fashion. Maybe I would have spun as well and then get disqualified. Although I probably would have used the reset to track button, not knowing that that's not actually allowed. So maybe it's allowed for this event. We don't know. We don't. I mean, most of the rules of One Hub apply. Obviously, clean racing and everything. But for example, I think at this point now, famous mandatory 2-stop rule obviously does not apply because we only have 25%, not 50%. So the 1-stop is obviously the best choice and really the only choice really here. And most likely, considering the tire weight, it's going to be soft to medium or medium to soft. I don't think we're going to see the hards in action at all.
No. I was driving around Belgium on the hard tyres, and it's not really a good race tyre around like the likes of Belgium, Austria. We're going to Austria next week, actually. And there's just no point using it in these 25% settings. It's just not on, really. Whereas 50% maybe will be a good race tyre, but, you know, I mean, unless they've got damaged hards, I think it should not be touched at all. But maybe some of the guys outside the top 10, knowing that there's going to be threat of rain at the end of the race, they may opt for the hard tyres. They may try and go as long as they possibly can on the hard tyres, so that the hards can last a fortune, and maybe wait until the rain comes. But it may not be enough rain to go onto the intermediate tyres. But again, every lobby is different. But obviously the top 10, they have no choice. They'll be either going on the softs or the mediums. But the bottom half, they have some sort of flexibility. But for the likes of Onyx and Westy, they don't know the weather until they get into the race. So they're not gonna know what the best strat is until they actually get in to the race when they're in the cockpit, of course. And everyone apart from Cloudy, Liam and Bettinio is out on a lap, and it is it's a 12-minute qualifying session in Q3, not 18 minutes. So again, less time to get your lap for Q3, and it is overcast conditions, so it's going to be even trickier for some of these guys to pick up the pace. So it's going to be a lot harder than obviously Q1 and Q2, whereas being completely clear. Oh, for goodness sake, not again.
No, I just saw it, yeah.
What is going on?
We're going to have to deal with this for a while. I'm going to send you another invite very quickly. Yeah, apologies for the technical difficulties. Obviously, not much we can do apart from, just trying to maybe put some duct tape over it, and maybe that's how we're gonna fix it. I don't know. But Beast has the first one out on a flying lap now, as he does get traffic in front. Thankfully, that traffic being Vitinho pulling out of the way there, making sure that he does not actually impede Beast as he runs through Orouge and Radion. And what I was about to say before you got kicked again, was that this looks more like there's going to be rain at the end of qualifying than rain at the end of the race. So very, very dark conditions here. I wouldn't be surprised if we do actually see some rain coming down here at the end of this qualifying 3 session. But right now it's still dry. If it does start to rain before Jess comes back, you will definitely hear me yell and scream at the top of my lungs that the rain is coming. That the rain is here, rather, but it is not right now, and Beast has using that to his advantage in, that is one of the Michael Schumacher liveries, if I'm not mistaken, as well. It's the golden Michael Schumacher car, so he's showing off that he did get the Schumacher edition and not just the 70 edition. Spent the extra money for the 3 days early access, so had 3 more days to practice. Maybe that's why he's the fastest in Q1 and Q2. Either way, he was the fastest in Q1 and Q2, and he will be the first one to set a lap time here in Q3 as he now heads through Blanchimont, coming towards the bus stop chicane, gets the braking point right. Oh, that is almost Esports line on that right-hander of the bus stop chicane. 2 wheels on the track, 2 wheels on the curb, perfectly, and a 1 minute 41.6. That is the best time we've seen so far in all 3 sessions.
That is amazing, I must say. Obviously, Q3, the track evolves a little bit more for pretty much all the drivers, so that means they will get a lot faster as they head through into the remaining sessions. And maybe some of these guys are turning the engine mode just a little bit higher for Q3. They're saving the best to last. They weren't showing their true pace in Q2 and Q1. They just want to show up all the glory in Q3 and try and get the the best qualifying position possible. So I've got to say, well done to him there.
Yeah, I gotta say, it was someone who definitely held back, or at least it seems like it from his Q3 time, was Owen. 1 minute 41.8. He's only the second driver so far in this qualifying session. The only other one being Beast has, who's actually dropped into the 1 minute 41s. So Owen showing some serious pace here after 1 minute 42.3 in Q1, and Q2 I think was a tad bit slower with a 42.4 if I'm not mistaken. But this one here, 41.8. What like that is from Owen, and only, I mean, less than 2/10 behind Beastaz. That might be the battle to watch here for pole position. We also have Ivahanen in P3 right now, 142.3. Rich in P4, 142.9. Kingen in P5, 143.3. And Cloudy in P6, 143.7 as Vitinho makes his way to the line right now. Where is he going to end up? In P4, 142.5. Just over a 10th behind Ivahanen in P3.
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely be an interesting fight to see who's gonna make it and who's gonna get that coveted top spot. You all want the 20 points. You all want to get the best chance heading into obviously the championship. Of course, you only have 4 rounds of 25% races to really get your head around it, really. And if you have one bad race, then it could set you up for the rest of the rounds. Obviously, we got Brazil coming up after Belgium, and then we got Austria and Canada as well next week. So some tracks may be more suited to others. I think there was a few guys that do prefer Brazil to qualify more than obviously Belgium, but there we go. They're in Belgium instead of Brazil. But obviously Brazil's going to be interesting. Obviously everyone will be reversed based on their finishing positions in the race. So maybe some of the guys may want to not win, but if they get consistent result, obviously in the first race and the second race, that could help him with the fight due to the fact that the points are so close. It's a 1 point difference between first and second. I mean, you know, so if you get 2 second places and the person in first gets like a first place and say an 8th or a 9th or something, then, you know, that could drop them down quite a few places in the standings. So you don't really want to do that.
Yeah, I would say my strategy would be to try and get the best possible result in race 1, because as much as that you would then start towards the back for race 2, the one thing I really wouldn't want is start somewhere in the middle, because that's always where it kicks off. The front 5, let's say out of 20 drivers, the front 5 or the back 5 are the best positions to start. At least for me personally, because if you're on the back 5, you can just take it really slow. You don't have to watch out that, you know, you have to actually go into turn 1. You can just take it a bit slower. And if the others pass you, well, fair enough. But there's a whole race left. And yes, it's only a 25%er, but that's still plenty of time to make some overtakes, to make some passes. As Astronaut, he puts it in the wall. Out of Bristol. No, he's going still. He did not lose a tire, but his front wing on the right side is massively damaged. So this might still be him basically out of the session. That was on his first flying lap. So he's going to have to nurse the car back to the pits and hope they get it fixed in time that he can get it back out again. And I don't think that damage can be repaired. Or I don't know how long it takes for them to replace a front wing. I think it's just the front wing. So the right front tire is still on the car. Suspension, I hope, isn't damaged. I don't think there is suspension damage on the game, so that would rule that out. But yeah, he's going to have to make it to the pits quickly. Hope he can get back out in time, and maybe with 1 minute and 45 left, make it out of the pit lane as he steers wide there. My God, the understeer. Yeah, that's what happens if you have front wing damage, as he cuts across the grass there to make it to the pit lane quicker. And I'm not sure that's all too legal, but at the same time, I don't think he cares too much about what's legal right now, because he needs to make it to the pit lane as quickly as possible. Get that front wing repaired, as he is now in. The question is, can they repair quickly enough? They put him into the pit lane now, into his pit stall. Oh, 2 minutes 20. Everyone else is going out now. You saw Vitinho just in front of him, moving out of the pit lane, and Astronaut, he now getting shoved back into his pits. Oh, this is going to be interesting. 2 minutes 5. He has to wait a little bit for the front wing to be changed, but is he going to be able to make it?
That's what I'm worried about for some of these guys, because they don't know who their teammates are, in a way, going into the pits, so they can't really communicate in a way, like we said earlier on pit stops, whereas obviously in the 100 races, you could possibly have people in parties with each other, where they could be like, right, I'm pitting this lap, you pitting this lap.
Trying.
Be fast, 1:41.4.
Wow.
He smashed Owen's time by... Oh, he's confident that he's going to get pole. He's retired from... Oh, he's not meant to retire on track, though. Ooh, that's a bit... Oh, he's parked it there. That's okay. That was lucky that the AI did that. But we got the likes of Owen, Eva Hannon, and Vitinho. They're going out again. Eva Hannon, I wonder if he'll get into the 141s. And also I wonder if Owen's going to find some time, like 4 attempts on VFAS, because that's an insane time to and he was just like, right, I'm confident getting pole, I'm retiring. I've only seen the likes of Onyx get into the 140s and he's not qualifying, so you know, if Onyx was in Q3 he probably would have had another shot, but he said, right, he's committing, which is fair play, and everybody else is out. Dane Star still to settle up. I still think he could possibly get top 3.
Yeah, possibly. I'm looking at Astronaut right now. He's absolutely flooring it, but with 30 seconds left,
he's
here,
he's cutting every corner.
Yeah, I mean, he has to at this point. 20 seconds. He would have to cut the bus stop chicane, but that will most likely invalidate the next lap as well. I don't think he's going to make it 15 seconds. In fact, I'm going to make the call right now. I don't think he's going to make it if he does cut the bus stop chicane. 7, 6, 5, 4. Is Cloudy Balloons making it? Yes, 3 seconds, and Astronauti is not making it. So that cost him the chance of qualifying and setting a lap. That mistake there on the exit of Bristol, sliding into the wall on the right-hand side, and he is actually at best in P9, but it looks like Danestar might actually push him down to P10. How unfortunate is that? Kingen is in the pit, so he cannot improve either. He actually retired from the session now, but he was in the pits anyway. Danestar coming towards the line through the bus stop chicane. Esports line once again there. Wonderful stuff, and floor it across the line. 1:41.9. It is P3 as you expected, Jess. And
third person in the 141s. Oh,
yeah.
Eva Hannon. What?
Where did that come from?
That was amazing. And we got Vitinho on a lap as well. We were expecting him to get into the top 4. Liam's on a lap as well. Liam, can he get into the 141s? 143s, but that's still a decent lap time for him. Vitinho got 149.
Into the 141.
Right, there's only one person that could, one person that could beat him. Owen, can he get into the 141 4s? He's got to, really, if he wants to get... Oh, just missed out by 1/10. Not even that.
And apparently, it's, so Rich and Cloudy have both invalidated. It seems like Astronauti, he doesn't have the flag next to his name. Is he actually on a lap right now?
I think it's a timing glitch, I think.
This could very well be the case that he actually did make it across the line, and we are watching a timing glitch here, but he's coming to the final corner, so he did actually make it, it seems.
Yep.
And through the final corner he comes. Not much of a slide there, it was a little bit, but it is a 1:43.0, and it actually counts, so that is P7 for Astronauti, and it's Liam who is pushed down to P10, and Beast House taking pole position by less than 0.04 of a second ahead of Owen, and less than 0.07 of a second ahead of Eva Hannon in P3.
Well, I've got to say, Eva Hannon is the podium tier champion of last season. I was not expecting him to get even close to the 141s. I've got to say, if he keeps his pace up, he will move up pretty much a few tiers this season. As we got enough sign-ups for 4. Just look at the gap between P2 and P3. Just look at that.
I mean,
30,300 of a second.
Yeah, look at the gap between P1 and P3.
That's just crazy. The top three, that's going to be a close for chow between... I think Danestar might come into this as well with his medium start. And we got Vitinho in 5th, Rich in 6th, Astronauty in 7th, Kingen in 8th, Cloudy in 9th, and Liam in 10th. So we got 5 drivers now in the 141s. 3 or 4 drivers only getting into the 141s in Q3, and one of them actually getting close. 2 of them actually getting close to be fastest time, but not actually getting close to pole. I wonder if they made a bit of a mistake in one of the corners. Maybe they went a bit too deep in one of the corners, and that might have costed their chance. Well, you'll never know. But I don't know who's going to win this. As we can see, Westy is back. Onyx and TB are not, though. So nope. I don't think they're going to take part in the rest of this session, unless.
Well, that means that they would be 1 race down, and they'd have to try and find those points in the remaining 3 races in Brazil, Austria next week, and Canada next week.
Yeah, and for these drivers, that's anything really, and you get 0 points just like that for not completing a race or not finishing. So, you don't really want to do that at this stage. It's just very, very frustrating. So
yeah, meanwhile, look at how well all the drivers are trained now. No one's pressing start yet.
They're
all waiting for Nick. That's what we want to see. If you ready up too early, I don't know if the 5-second penalty rule applies here, but it would be Stevie. Stevie had enough.
Oh no, Nick said let's go. So yeah, it's fine.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Well, I don't think they get penalties for readying up.
No, not in this event. But once season 16 starts, don't ready up before the lobby host. In this case, Nick. Obviously, for your tiers, that would then be different because Nick,
Nick's not racing.
He's not going to be the host. And that's interesting to see. We get a formation lap as well, obviously. So, one thing to note here for F1 2020 and for the next 3 seasons of OneHub, on the formation lap, there is now tire wear. That wasn't the case on 2019. That has changed. So you want to make sure that you do warm up those tires, but you don't want to overdo it to a point where you're wearing the tires out to a ridiculous degree and put more wear into them, or take more wear out of them, really, than you would on a normal race lap. So something the drivers are going to have to balance for this season. And it seems like most of them do. What is smart is take the first half of the lap rather easy. Just go straight. Just don't weave too much. Don't try to turn in too much. Just, take the formation lap as if it was a formation lap. And then once, you're halfway through the second sector, I think around this track here, once you're heading towards Pujon, which Base Haas as the leader is doing now, you can start weaving a little bit, try to get some temperature into the tires and get them up to speed and temperature and make sure that they work properly for the race start.
Yeah, and especially in the rain as well. I think you noticed as well when you were doing my team, and obviously when I was doing practice for a few races on PC, it gets cold pretty quickly in the wet. If you don't warm them up, then that's it, really. Then that's your chance is gone, and you've got to be looking at your tyre wear pretty quickly. And we've got the predicted pit stop strategy that's came up on our screen, which is going to be popped up quite a bit on the OneHub streams, which is great. And obviously the drivers, the commentators will be again communicating with online services again. That's not good. But no, it's back again. We'll be using the TAS system as a qualifying night, which commentators will get lovely state on, obviously, on the drivers' telemetry and obviously the tyre wear and stuff, which is going to be exciting. We're not using it this week or next week because obviously it's not trained to do 2 races in a row for 25%. So we're using it in qualifying night. I'm excited to use it. We'll have to use the old-fashioned way tonight, but Yeah, I'm excited as every single driver is lining up on the grid for the start of the first race of the One Hub season, pre-season. Don't forget, we are sponsored by Next Level Racing. They're going to provide the wheel stands to the Going Gets Tough award winners this season, not the Drivers' Champion this season. So a bit more of an incentive for people outside the top three to do well. So you could check Next LVR Racing on Twitter for more information. But anyway, the 5 red lights are on. You can actually hear the sound this time, which is great on this game. Quite a few people using Overtake on, and we're underway. And looks like we've got an even start from BFast and Owen as they all go through in turn 1. BFast getting a bit better exit than Owen on that lap as everyone made it clean through turn 1. A few people gone off, but apart from that, seems to be okay. As we're almost going free wide, go through El Rouge. That's not going to end well if you're the likes of Danestar. Maybe Danestar maybe sitting pretty at the moment. Owen already going for the move towards the Camel Straight already without DRS. He's got the overtake button on Danestar, I think, trying to go for the move as well. Going through to Lecomte, I think BFast and Owen still going side by side. Now heading through to Bruchel. BFast with a lovely switchback holds on to the lead, and I think Iverhannon is not that far behind Owen as well. Westy already making some ground. He's already up into P10, so the cracking start from Westy, and he didn't even make the qualifiers, and he's already up in the point. In the normal points anyway.
Yeah, just gained another position on Liam there, and we have a yellow flag in sector 2. It's gone again. I don't know what happened there. It also shows us fastest lap, or at least it shows me fastest lap by Jamie.
Yeah, same for me as well. Same for me.
Yeah, a little bit surprised with that. It's probably because of Jamie's connection issues really there. And I'm getting the predicted pit stop strategy a lot now, which, yeah, for those that are on the soft tires, I would say the pit window is between lap 6 and lap 8. For those that are starting on the mediums, it might actually be a bit earlier because the softs do last quite long in a 25% race around here. So you want to actually do the undercut from medium to soft, and that might be what Danestar's doing. He's holding up with the top 3 quite well right now, despite not having DRS just yet. No DRS is not enabled. And Jamie did not just set a 6-second lap time. Everything's going broken right now. But we are still on lap 2, despite it saying lap 3 out of 11. We are on lap 2. Don't get fooled by that. That is still a bug. And Nick is not leading either. We would love that, but that's not actually the case. We all would love
that, to be honest, but no.
Yeah. Owen looking to the outside there. Beast has not there. And it is fixed now. Nick's down to P10 again. But I gotta say, Westy, my God, what a first lap. From 18 to 9.
Oh,
if he
yellow
continues
flag.
that, he's going to be in P1.
Off. That is Pav, I believe, in La Source. Yeah, it is. La Source, he's binned it. And I think that's... He got away with a bit of damage. And when we have TAS, we'll actually be able to see how much damage they've got. But we just have to go by pure visuals at the moment. But yeah, that's unfortunate. No one, I believe, has gone into the pits. So I think everyone is hunky-dory at the moment as Cloudy Balloons is trying to make a move past Jamie. I do believe Jamie, I think, has left the session again. So Jamie is also having connection issues as well. It might just be PlayStation issues his end as well. So that's a shame from Jamie, but hopefully he can join back soon. So that's why Cloudy's ahead of him so far. We can't see the gaps at the moment, but they're all really close between the top 10 as the pit stop strategy has happened again. And interestingly enough, they're showing more strategies, memes to stops as well. I think that's what quite a few other people will be doing, the likes of Danestar. It's impressive that Danestar is actually keeping up with these top 3 at the moment. I thought he would drop up a bit, but he is at high caliber, of course. Obviously, he's there for a reason, and he wants to show that he can keep up with these high caliber of drivers. Don't forget, Danestar was in a higher tier than Iverhannon. He knows he's faster than him, so he wants to get past him really quickly, but Iverhannon's just so quick on the straight. Liam's in the pits then. He's possibly had damage somewhere. We might be going for the undercut. Nope, he's got damage.
Yep. Damage. Front wing change. Meanwhile, Danestar now getting the DRS off of Iverhan, and he was close enough, even though we still can't see the gaps, but he definitely was. And that is certainly something important, because on those medium tires, you know, it's hard, it's easy to lose contact, it's easy to lose touch with the guys in front, especially since they're all on the softs, but he did get the DRS there. And yeah, once again, I would expect the medium runners to pit earlier because the softs last long enough and are durable enough to go a little bit longer, and you actually lose yourself some time as we have a virtual safety car. And that might actually trigger Dainstar to come in early if he can make it to the pits.
Oh, I'm just trying to figure out
I would
who
expect
that
maybe
is.
him, maybe some others as well. Beast has Owen, Iberhan, maybe we see everyone coming in now.
Oh, Astronaut, binned it as well. He's got to be careful. The likes of Cloudy coming out. Oh my God, thank goodness Ghosting's on, because otherwise it would have been a massive shunt. I can't select driver either on the spectator menu, so I have to do it the old-fashioned way. But yeah. Okay. As
Beast stays out, Owen stays out, Iberhan comes in, and Dainstar follows him. Vitinho as well. Kingen can't decide and gets overtaken by Rich as it goes green, and Cloudy's the only one to get a drive through here. Is he the only one? That's the question. But some of the drivers are now into the pit lane. And yeah, Ivihan got a 5-second penalty for a collision with Owen. I think that was in the pit lane. And Lazy the Twig also got a drive through.
It was bus stop.
Ah, okay.
It was bus stop.
Oh yeah, because Owen didn't go in, yeah. So Ivihanen, I think, served that penalty in the pit lane. But what I said, Lazy the Twig and Cloudy both have a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC.
Ah.
And I think Ivihanen just used the the reset to track button. Okay. So I don't think I don't think it's considered illegal for this event.
I'll need to double check at some point. I'll need to double check if it is allowed or not.
Yeah, because he certainly used it there. But Beastas still in the lead. And I think it was probably the right call there from the two leaders, from Beastas and Owen, to stay out because the VSC was ending and the drivers who didn't come in, Ivihanen, Cloudy, and well, Liam before that for a front wing damage, they didn't gain too much. In fact, they lost more than they gained there. Vitinho might be the one, and Dainstar certainly was the one who gained the most there. But he's still 20 seconds. He just made it past Stevie, I think. So did Vitinho. But 20 seconds of a gap to Beastas and Owen, who... Oh, Beastas comes in now. Beastas comes in. I did not expect him to come in at the end of lap 4. That is certainly surprising. Owen stays out. Lap 4 is a bit early, I think, for a pit stop from the softs to the mediums. I would have assumed you go a little bit longer than that. As I said, probably lap 6 to 8. You want to go longer on the softs than the mediums, really, because they can actually take it and they are faster. But, well, Beast has made his own choice there and has come in for the medium tire now. So Owen leading the way, 4.8 seconds ahead of Rich. Westy now coming for that spot. And to the inside he goes. Rich doesn't really defend, and it's an ILRT 1-2, and Westy from P18 on the grid, now in second place. Who would have thought that?
That is absolutely crazy from Westy. I mean, I would expect him to climb his way up the field, but not by that much. That's just absolutely insane. And I haven't actually looked at his livery yet, but I think he's got, it looks like he's got kind of like ILRT style livery in a way, a bit of orange and also a tiny bit of yellow on his helmet. Actually, no, it's not yellow, but there we go. Yeah, and I'm just wondering why those two haven't pitted, because I was racing about Belgium and I found that the overcut is usually not the most powerful in Belgium, but for sometimes it is. It depends on how far you are to obviously the leader. So I wonder if it's going to come back to bite in, particularly Westy, who's far behind the likes of Owen. Will any of those two go in? I'm going to see Owen stays out. Will Westy go for the jump? Yes, he does. He has to. He has to go in, really, and he did. He had the most to lose, really. So he's gone for the good option, I must say. And the pit window has come up on his screen. So yeah, that was what he wanted to do. And lap 6 to 10 was where he would pit. And here he goes, and he does not get held up. And where will he come out in the light of BFAS? BFAS is way ahead of him. So the undercut, I think, is going to work for B-Stas at the moment. I think he's going to stay in the lead once the final soft runners pit.
Yeah, but we have one soft runner who's not going to pit anymore. We got to remember that, and that is Danestar. And he's just 1.2 seconds behind B-Stas. This could be the battle for the win here. The gap from B-Stas to Owen is now under 15 seconds, so Owen will definitely fall behind B-Stas, probably behind Danestar as well at this point, quite significantly. The pit stop loss should be around 16 to 17 seconds, so right now he would fall right behind Danestar by about half a second to a second, and now a bit more actually, as Danestar gains more and more time on those fresher soft tires, only 1 lap old, and thankfully that tire data is actually true. The one for Nick, Dexter, and B-Stas is not true. So, oh no, for B-Stas it is, I think, but for Nick and Dexter it certainly isn't, as they started on those mediums.
They're going to double the tires. They're going to double the tires. They're going to say they're on like 12 lap old softs or something.
Yeah.
So be wary of that, guys.
The tires are older than the race is long.
Well, at least with Taz, the tire data is correct. So will we actually be able to tell you how many laps they've been on those tires if the glitch doesn't sort itself out?
Speaking of tires, Owen stayed out another lap, so he's going to go to lap 7 here. He's doing basically the opposite of what Danestar did. Use the soft, or effectively the same as what Danestar did, but just in reverse. So use the softs for as long as possible, and then just for the end, for a couple laps, use the mediums. And Owen will have a massive pace advantage. If he just stays out now, he will have a massive pace advantage, but I think he might be too far away from the likes of B-Stas and Danestar. Maybe he can fight over P3 with Vitinho. That, I think, is the most likely scenario right now.
Maybe
or is he hoping for a safety car?
Yeah, don't forget, obviously, in the 25% races, there's only 2 virtual safety cars and safety cars. We had 1, so there is an option for 1 more. If there's another VSC, or if there's another safety car happening now, which probably could happen.
Astronauty and Indecisive Mac are both around on the entry of Les Combes. What has happened there? We have a VSC. And Owen is probably cheering right now as he's hoping that this delta in the top right for him, most likely, unless he customized his on-screen display, would hopefully be a little bit faster. But he's going to make it into the pits right now. He's got to. He's got to take advantage. 100%. He's got 100%, and
he is. He's going to hope that the safety car stays out, well, VSC, and there's going to be no more safety cars. Hopefully he doesn't speed into the pit lane, which he doesn't, and it's come out.
Stevie got to drive through. Was he the only one? Let me quickly check.
Has everyone else served their drive-throughs? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Going up into the pits.
Nick got a drive-through as well for speeding under virtual safety car, and Stevie.
He's serving it now. I believe he's serving it now. Oh no, wait, was he going on mediums? I don't know. Nope, he's serving it now. So he has to pit again.
Lazy the Twig and Cloudy definitely saved their drive-throughs from earlier, because otherwise they would have been disqualified by now, because you only get 3 laps to do it.
Oh, look at Danestar. Danestar is now 3 seconds on B-Stas at the moment for P, and the net lead of this race. And I think it's going to come back to bite for B-Stas at the moment. Maybe the softs are the way to go right now for these guys. We've got another yellow flag, and that's in, looks like Paul Frere. It is a...
No, it's La Source.
La Source, actually. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. The map is shaped differently, I don't know, and it was indecisive. Or which. It was one of the blue cars. I can't tell which because it doesn't say, but I like the fact that Cody's actually put colours on the HUD for the multiplayer cars. It just makes life so much easier, but it's hard if they all have the similar HUD colours. But anyway, someone I do believe is in traffic as well, Dexter, who's in the lead on track, but not in the race, as he's still yet to make his first pit stop. He's going to be under pressure, obviously. He's probably going to let these 2 through of Danestar and B-Stas, as Westy gets a 3 seconds time penalty added to the end of the race. Quite a few people got penalties. I think I saw Owen get one, Vitinho get
Oh,
one.
here's Dainstar. Dainstar making a move on Dexter, trying to clear the traffic basically as Dexter wanted to get into the pit lane. And that was a bit of an issue because on his inside, on the right side, was Dainstar. And he had to let him by. And now Dainstar is hunting after Beastaz. 3 more laps. Oh, and this is going to get really, really interesting.
I'm excited for this. A last lap battle on the first 100 race of F1 2020. This is what we like to see, ladies and gentlemen, around Belgium. And I have to say, only 2 retirements around here. That is really impressive for the guys. Most of these guys have been keeping it clean. And Dexter, another guy on the soft tyres, and is going to be ahead just about of Everhan. And they were in the same tier last season. Dexter's going to be on fresher tyres going in to El Rouge and Radion. Let's see what he can make do of here. He's going to get the pace advantage here. The DRS is open. He's not using his overtake yet. What about Everhan's ERS? He's on roughly the same. So I think it's going to come down to tyre where really, as Everhan just holds on, Dexter can't afford to be held up that long. We've got a yellow flag. That's another blue car. And that is, I believe, indecisive again. As he...
No.
Nope, he's
indecisive in the pit lane.
It is Rich then. It's Rich. Oh!
Yeah.
I think Owen almost had enough there. He spun a bit, but he's gone back on the circuit. Wesley's now overtaken him, who was also
and Vitinho as well. Vitinho's up to P3 now. Owen was ahead of both of them, and has dropped now to P5 and is battling a little bit with Rich here. 1.5 seconds the gap between the two of them, so not really a proper battle, but yeah. Owen dropped down there to P5 and Dainstar is getting closer. Remember, we had rain forecast for the end of the race. However, we don't see that.
Is Nick lying? Because it doesn't look like it.
Well, it has gotten a bit darker, I gotta say that. So maybe the forecast was wrong and Nick was actually right. And just, you know, the weather forecast, because I know that there are some issues with the weather forecast. If you do 100% races, the rain comes a lot earlier if you do have it. If it shows towards the end, it usually comes around the halfway point of the race. So maybe the weather forecast is actually made only for 50% races. And so on a 25% race, the rain wouldn't actually hit. So
yeah,
that could be the case. So I want to accuse Nick here. I don't think he gave us wrong information. I think the information was wrong to begin with.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, you know, I've done a race where it rains towards the end and it comes early, or sometimes the rain comes towards the end and it doesn't come at all. You know, it's inconsistent really, to be honest. And I've noticed it does get a bit darker. And I think even if it does rain, it's not going to be enough rain for them. It's no point going on into, so they're going to have to manage on the tyres that they're going on. So if you're on a harder tyre, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. And even on the softs as well, there's no right tyre in this, really. The warmer the tyres, really, the much better it's going to be in these conditions. So if you are expecting the rain, then you're really going to hope you warm your tyres to advantage and hopefully it doesn't get too cold. Luckily, there's no more safety cars. So it's just all guns ablaze for the finish as Owen gets another 3-second time penalty. That's going to drop him way down the order. But final lap then. Who's going to win out of Dainstar and Beastaz for the win here? Don't forget, penalties will come into effect at the end because there's still a lot to be applied for most of these drivers. And I wonder who's going to get the award today for getting no penalties today. We'll have to wait and see. Indecisive won't know. He's got a 3-second fine penalty. He's in last place, but he is still keeping going, which is great to see, and you can tell he's having a little bit of fun anyway. And Dainstar's just a little bit further back to get to Beastaz. I don't think he's going to have the advantage. Yellow flag.
No. Yeah,
Nick.
And
oh no, it's not Nick. It's Owen.
No, it's Owen again. Yeah, spun around there on the ascent beyond Radion.
I'm sure I saw rain.
Is it? Yes, it is. Yeah, slight rain coming down. What I was trying to say, Dainstar is struggling with fuel. Beastaz has enough left, but Dainstar is struggling with fuel, and Dainstar is also struggling with the ERS. He's at about 10 to 11%. Beastaz has about 30% left. So Beastaz, no, as much as he's not struggling with fuel or ERS, he is struggling with the conditions right now, as they all probably are, Westy gets a 3-second time penalty. Danes are too far away now.
Yeah.
Unless Beast has bottles it, I think this is Beast Haz's race for the taking. I don't think he has any penalties. Let me quickly check. He does not have a single warning. Dainstar has 2, but no penalty. Vitinho has 1. Westy has 3 penalties, actually. And it is actually Beast Haz who comes through to the line to take victory here at Spa. 1.5 seconds ahead of Dainstar. Vitinho and Westy go for it, but Vitinho will get the position either way on the line because Westy has penalties. There it is. Rich in P5 is going to make it across the line. Will he get P4 for Westy? He should be. Yes, he is. Westy drops to P5. Kingen also. Up to P5 he goes. And then Ibehan's a little bit too far away. And Astronaut is out. Astronaut is out. He has crashed. Where is that? Oh, and it is almost into the wall there. In the campus section, heading towards Savalon. It's almost undrivable now. Dexter has spun on the start-finish straight. What is happening? Cloudy's struggling.
Too hard.
Yeah, this is as if myself and Kieran controlled the weather again.
Well, you never know. You might have to do that in the charity event if you get asked to come back. But Cloudy, on no assist, he's going to get beat down and he spins across the line. There he goes. And Stevie Hart's going to get a good finish as well. He almost equals his best result in one hub. Because obviously he got P10 in, P9 actually.
We're locking up massively into the bus stop.
Oh my word, Tokyo drifting.
Almost. And same goes for Stevie, rather, not Astronaut. Stevie into the wall. Oh my god, Liam retired. Owen gets P11 on the line there. Stevie, can he make it P12? Lazy is into the wall as well. What is happening? Stevie P12. Lazy the Twig gets P12 on penalties. So Stevie actually P13. And now the question is, if you're a lap down, obviously you've done 90%. If you crash on the final lap, you've also done 90%. Do you get the points?
Ooh, I think that'll be a question to ask for Nick there. I think if I was, because I think it was another league where the guy who had no points all season did 90% of the race. He didn't get points, which was a bit harsh. But hopefully we will get a situation where these guys will get points. We'll see.
Well, the issue is we had a driver who finished a lap down in Indecisive Mac, but we also had drivers who didn't finish a lap down, but they crashed on the final lap with Liam, Astronauty, and...
no, they're fine. They're classified. They're classified.
Yeah.
Classified on the screen. So there we go. That answered your question.
Then they do get points. So Indecisive Mac will get 5 points. Astronauty 6, Liam 7, Stevie Hart 8, Lazy the Twig 9, Owen 10, Cloudy 11, Dexter 12, Nick 13. Quite surprising that. Ibehan 14, Westy 15, King 16, Rich 17, Vitinho 18, Dainstar 19, and Beast Haz will get the full 20 points for the win, but he will also start from 20th place if we do have Onyx and TB joining. If not, he will start from 18th. Either way, he will start from the very back of the grid, but 20 points to his name.
That was a good race, I must say. Well done to every single one of those drivers. It was a shame that some of the drivers who had all their hard work for nothing, and because they all had dry setups at the start, then they couldn't really handle the wet towards the end. I never expected the rain to come harder than it did. For Dainstar and on the likes of the top three, the rain was enough for them to get through to the start-finish straight, and it was fine. So, you know, I feel bad for the ones who still had a few corners to go and they were struggling on these wets, and that costed their race, really, which is a bit of a shame. But we're now heading to Brazil for the second race, where every single one of the drivers will, like as Austin said earlier, will be reversed. So whoever finished in last place, regardless if he finished or not, will be on pole. And I believe that's either Pav or Jamie. I'm not sure. It's either one of the two. I don't know. It might have been Jamie actually that's starting pole. I think. I'm not entirely sure. Well, we could check the stream, couldn't we?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying right now.
Yeah,
I'm writing everything down for it.
And also,
it was a Pav. Pav will start from pole.
A Pav will start from pole, so I will. Yeah, so that's going to be a mixed up grid then for some of the guys. And the question is, will these guys who are used to starting lower down, they're now going to be at the top? How are they going to handle the pressure in Brazil, of course? Obviously, that's what the track we're going to next. An anti-clockwise circuit, one of the only anti-clockwise circuits on the calendar, one of the shortest laps on the calendar, and there you go. It is 4.3 kilometers long, 2.6 miles with 15 turns, and again 2 DRS zones, one at the start finish straight and one heading towards the center S's, and you got to really get the sector 2 right as well, heading towards the final couple of corners, going into sector 3 as well. That is going to be the tricky corners as well, and obviously we've seen in Belgium how the weather has hindered some people and helped others. I wonder if we're going to see something similar in Brazil. And Brazil is known for wet races. I remember one race where it started with a safety car. We're not going to get that today, obviously, but we may see changing conditions most likely in Brazil, and that is something that I'm really looking forward to.
Now, Jess, you said we're not going to see that today. I'm not so sure. We might actually see that today. It's very unlikely, but, we've seen the safety car come out for rain before. Just to, again, a little throwback to the charity race last season.
No, I'm talking about the beginning of the race. As in, as soon as the race starts, the safety car is on the grid.
I'm not sure if that's possible. Have they actually programmed that into the game, that a race can start under the safety car?
I don't know. I've never tried that. I might try that tomorrow. I might just try and set custom weather to heavy rain with thunderstorms and see if it starts under the safety car. I might try that out. But yeah,
interesting to know, because I've never seen it either.
Yeah, but I can definitely tell you, obviously it happened in the 2019 game, it happens on the 2020 game as well. And I was racing it, I think, last Thursday around Austria in a different league, where it was it was raining the whole race. It got so much heavier, it was thunderstorming, and then there was a safety car. Austin didn't even control the weather. He wasn't even commentating it, and it was dynamic weather. So I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen. It might happen. We don't know, but it shows that it can happen if you program it or not. But unfortunately, me and Austin don't have full weather control in these 2 weeks. I wish we can, but unfortunately we can't. So we just have to rely on Cody's just deciding the weather for us. And I think I'm going to predict the weather right now. I think it's going to be overcast, or it's going to be really, really hot. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Brazil always throws up some crazy weather, and we'll see how this one goes as the custom grid is now being made. And this is going to get interesting. It's a tricky track. It looks, because it's so short, it looks like, oh yeah, this is easy. Come on, Brazil, But Senna S can be tricky because of the elevation change. We have turn 4, the exit curb is quite a tricky one. Then turn 6, 7, 8, that whole section there is tricky because as soon as you get out of turn 6 and 7, you already start braking for turn 8 almost. So you have to be really alert there. Also allows you to maybe throw one up the inside if the other guy's leaving you the space. You can try a surprise attack there. Turn 9, again, a little bit of an elevation change. You go downhill, then as soon as you get to the apex, you go uphill again. So that's a tricky one. And then obviously turns 10, 11. 11 is one that is flat out. It should not be too much of an issue, but side by side can get tricky there. And then turn 12, Jungsao. Also a good overtaking opportunity, but you don't really want to use this because the DRS detection point is right after. So you don't want to overtake there because that will put you at risk of being re-overtaken again. on the ensuing straight all the way to the start-finish line.
And all the drivers, pretty much all the drivers are readying up now, so we are ready to start. The custom grid has been made, and we are about to start the second and final race of the night in Brazil. And Beastaz and Dane Star, they'll be starting near the back. I wonder how they're going to get through the other 16 cars on the grid. So obviously there's only 18 cars. Obviously Onyx and TB couldn't make it tonight for some reason. I don't know why, because I thought they were going to make it. But I think a few discussions will happen after the race for those two. I wonder how those two would have been in Belgium and Brazil. I think they would have been, well, Onyx would have been definitely been up there with the likes of Danestar and Beastas. And also, I wonder about the strategy. I wonder if more people, well, obviously they have free choice of tyres now. They are not limited to what tyre they start on. Will we see more people around this short track go for the alternate strategy and do mediums to softs, or will we see people do soft to mediums again? Again, it depends on the weather, and it is nice and sunny, so I could possibly see quite a few people going for mixed strategies. It will be interesting to see. It definitely brings out some dynamics, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be 18 laps around here for this race, and obviously because it's much shorter than Spa was, so we get a few more laps out of this. But it should be, in terms of time, it should be very similar. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think, again, with these 25% races, usually the strategy, I don't think there's a single race where soft to medium doesn't work, because they've scaled the tire wear to a point where soft to medium is pretty much the strategy for these 25% races. For 50%, it's a little bit trickier. You know, maybe maybe the mediums don't last as long, or the softs don't last as long, or both of them don't last as long as you would need for a soft to medium. But for 25% races, it's always soft to medium. The question is just, how long do you want to stay out on those softs, and when do you actually want to use the mediums? As the drivers now get underway with Pav leading the way, and Beastaz all the way down in P18. This is going to be a really, really tricky one. But as I said before, honestly, Beastaz's position right now, that's probably where I would want to be in, because Center S, tricky corner, as turn 1 even more so, and there could be a few, I think the modern word for that is entanglements, that could happen in the Center S, and we could see some cars colliding and touching, and some front wing damages there happening. But we see also some strategies here for all of the drivers. It's going to be soft to medium, it seems. I know, not all of them are starting on the soft tire, but it's going to be soft to medium for most of them. And the pit window around lap 10 for the soft runners, and for the medium runners around lap 8.
Oh, Pav
seems to be...
Pav hit the wall there. I think he would get disqualified in the grid. No, he's not. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, you only get disqualified if you do hit other drivers. Not if you hit the wall. Oh, no, he was disqualified.
he did.
Never mind. I take everything back that I just said.
That means his tyres are going to be cold in the pretty much. But luckily, it wasn't that far off the lap anyway, so it's not going to be as cold if you collided with someone or hit the wall in, say, the Center S or something. So think himself lucky as everyone else is on the field. Interested to see Danestar yet again going for the medium tyre, but again, I'm not surprised. He made it work in the first race in Belgium, and he's probably decided, you know what, I've done it well in Belgium, I'm going to do exactly the same in Brazil, and try and make it work. But he's got a lot of cars to get through, so it's going to be a little bit more tricky. But, you know, Danestar being very, very smart, as to quite a few people on those mediums, but for some of these guys, they got to try and defend from some very fast drivers right behind him. It's going to be very, very tricky. Don't forget, Jamie got his first podium here in One Hub in Brazil at this very second season 13. Can he get one here? Can he hold up the likes of, obviously, Liam, Astronauty, Dexter, Westy, Danestar, some really fast drivers which are near the back of the grid. It's going to be tough for him as we're waiting for, I think, the last driver to go in. I think that's... Oh. Everyone's there. So
yeah.
I think we're getting a similar glitch to what you saw when you were commentating on a race on Thursday, where literally everyone was just waiting because I was watching it just after I was watching another race. It was just not nice at all. I'll need to check who's broke the lobby. I need to see as the strategy has come up again. I'll see the lights are not showing, so.
I think it might be Vitinho. He's having the connection symbol to the next to his name, and if I look through the field, he's the only one who has that. Everyone else does not have a connection symbol, so it might be Vitinho.
Oh, he's on one
Brazilian.
bar. He's on one bar. That's not good when you're league racing.
Yeah, it really isn't. I mean, kind of understand. Obviously, he's the only Brazilian driver that we have here. So, you know, obviously a little bit far away from the lobby host, Nick, in the UK. But it might be him. It's just I don't know how to even check who is at fault here.
Because you can't do that. You can't do that on this game. In the last game you could, because you could see who was... you could see the tick symbol, the ones who weren't the cause, and then the loading ones were the ones that were causing the trouble. So I thought they got rid of that glitch. It turns out that glitch is still there, which is frustrating.
They didn't get. In fact, they made it worse because they didn't get rid of the glitch. They just got rid of us being able to tell who is causing that glitch.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Which makes it even worse.
The drivers are probably asking us, "Oh, who's causing it?" Well, we don't know. We don't know.
Oh no, that's just the predicted pit stop strategy. Never mind. That popped up to me again.
I had that a few minutes ago. I was like, oh. And I think Owen's posted the picture in the PSN chat. It's not Vitinho.
Migrating host.
It's not Vitinho. It was Nick.
Oh, and I got a crash. It was Nick. Yeah.
It was Nick.
Had the issue, and my game just crashed. I'm out of the lobby as well.
That was exactly the same to what happened to you on Thursday. I'm not going to say what league because we're not advertising any leagues, but
the same error code as well.
I just now got session does not exist, and I'm probably going to get a PSN error as well. Sorry about the connection issues today, guys. I swear, we've literally got every single technical issue known to man happen in our stream tonight. I disconnected from the lobby, like, more times known to man, and the lobby has decided to throw a hissy fit. We're sorry. Hopefully Cody's just... I'm still stuck on communicating with online services, so I might have to do a bit of a restart in my game, most likely, which I will do.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea, generally, just to restart your game. Good thing is, since you are streaming through OBS and not through the console itself, you can restart the game without losing the stream. So
that
actually works. Yeah, that's the issue I had in the league that you were talking about. That I was streaming straight through the PS4, and so I could not. Or when it crashed and the game stopped working, it ended the stream, and I had to restart a new stream. So that was a bit of an issue at the time. But thankfully, we don't have that here. We can just restart the game very quickly. Jess will. And then we should get the lobby back up in just a couple of minutes. So just a couple of seconds, hopefully.
Don't forget, Nick's still got to do the custom grid again.
Yeah, it's going to be a couple of minutes.
Yeah, they've got to wait for every single one of us, including us commentators, to get in the lobby. And then Nick's got to make the grid. So, and I've just received an invite just as I was saying that. Thank you, Nick, for being proactive there. And I am just getting in right now. It just gives us a great opportunity whilst we wait for the lobby. Oh, as everyone's going now very quickly. Good, well done, guys. As I click spectate. A good opportunity to talk about... well, we can't really talk about the calendar because obviously that hasn't been revealed yet. But Season 16 starts... Well, qualifying night starts in a few weeks' time. Sign-ups are closed. And we've already got enough sign-ups for 4 tiers. We've gone from 3 tiers up to 4, with everyone paying either race premium or the season entry fee. That's just incredible. Did you ever think we would go up from 3 tiers to 4 with them doing the season entry fee?
I expected that, honestly. As surprising as that may look from the outside, looking at how much of a success really the entry fee actually was, that you had so many drivers who say, look, if it gets people to be active, to stay active, to quite literally put their money where their mouth was, then they're very happy to do that. It's not a big entry fee. It's £5. You know, it's something that is affordable, and it's certainly something that helps with league activity, with attendance, and with prizes as well, obviously, because all that money goes back into prizes. And I was pretty sure as soon as season 15 ended, even though obviously the league management meeting hasn't happened or had not happened yet at the time, I thought to myself, yeah, it's probably going to be 4 tiers this season, isn't it? And that's exactly what's happened.
And we've got a new name for it as well, which we can't reveal too much into, really. I don't know how much we can reveal, really, of this new tier or where it fits in the spectrum. But you know, the one thing I think we can reveal is, or at least I want to reveal it, and I'm pretty sure I can, is that it was my suggestion. So I'm very proud of that. It's a good name. I like that name, honestly, and we all voted for it as a management team, and pretty much almost everyone voted for it. So I like that name. I can't remember what I voted for, actually. I think it was that name. I almost said the name on, but we will.
Don't.
There will be an announcement, I think, soon. Probably, I think, either before qualifying night or just after. It will at least be announced in tier announcement night. What the new tier will be and where that would fit in the whole scheme of things. We'll have to wait and see if Prestige comes back, or we will have a new name for that. We don't know. We obviously know it's management. We're trying to keep it under wraps, of course, as well. Obviously, Next Level Racing, a sponsor, they're coming back for another season, which has been great. They've been so supportive. A lot of people will be getting their rigs recently as well. Well, they are about to get it soon. Obviously, we changed it now, so only the Going Gets Tough award winner will be getting a rig instead of the champion, because obviously if it happened again, probably the likes of Louis would get a third wheel stand. Obviously, he didn't get a wheel stand. He got the F1 2020 game for free, lucky him, and he signed up again for another season to defend his title. Looks like everybody's in the lobby that we're expecting. Yep. And I think it's just down to Nick to set the grid, and I thought the weather would be the same, but as One Hub Racing rules, as far as I'm aware, it has to stay on dynamic. I remember in Belgium it happened where the lobby broke. It was meant to be raining, and then when we restarted, it was nice and sunny for the whole race. So I thanked the person who disconnected, and that kind of helped me. So hopefully it doesn't bring out the opposite. Hopefully we may see similar weather to what we've seen, obviously, when we started 5 minutes ago now. So hopefully we'll see the same. Fingers crossed. And just a quick mention, there are also points as well in this races if you get fastest lap within the top 10 and the fastest lap outside the top 10. I couldn't see who it was for Belgium, but I will keep an eye out in Brazil who gets that as well. Another incentive for the drivers to keep going, of course, to get one extra point. Any signs of them readying up yet? No, not quite. We just have to wait just a little bit longer as Cloudy Balloons are just disconnected. I think he's back. Yes, he is back. That's good. So who's your money on for winning, for getting a good result here? Who's going to surprise you tonight, Austin, in this race?
I think looking at the standings of race 1 and where I think they maybe should end up in terms of pace, I think the one with the best chance here for Brazil at least would be, in my opinion, Owen. If it doesn't throw up these weird conditions again where you're on the dry tire and it's raining cats and dogs, then I think Owen, who's starting from, what is that, P8?
I think
has a really good chance of making up those positions and maybe getting a win here in the second race.
Ooh, that's interesting. He's right in the middle as well, so hopefully he doesn't get caught up in turn 1 shenanigans. And Brazil was a track he gets on well as well. I'm not going to say more because I don't want to jinx him, because he will get mad at me if I jinx him. I've done that quite a few times in many races I've commentated him in other leagues, but for me, it's a tough one. I mean, Westy did so well, like at one point at the start of the race where he went all the way up to 9th place. If he could do the same where he starts in this race, he could be another big contender as well. And obviously, Dane Star, will see where he goes up as well. And if BFAS can avoid turn 1 shenanigans, he could be on with a good shout. It's just tough to tell, really. But for the likes of Jamie and Pav, they're the only drivers out of the 18 that are racing tonight to not get any points. They've got to step it up. They need to finish a race. Otherwise, they're already on the back burner for 2 races in a row. They're going to be on the same ground as Onyx and TB, who are not even attending this race. And it's overcast this time, so it's completely different rather to what we've seen in 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and I just looked up the fastest laps in and outside the top 10 in the first race. It was Danestein inside the top 10. And again, it's 1 point, just like in the normal season, right?
Yeah, 1 point, just like the normal season, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Danestar, that puts him equal with B-Saz actually on 20 points. So they're both leading the championship, but B-Saz obviously, because of the tie break, because he won the race, he's actually leading, and Danestar tied and then in 2nd place. And Owen in P11 got it outside the top 10. So maybe it's a bit of a smart move there from him to actually drop outside the top 10 that late in the race, because it did give him another point, and he is on 11 just like Cloudy.
Ooh, so that is interesting then. I thought it's going to be a lot closer than we thought, obviously due to the fact that every position is worth 1 point more than the previous one, so it gives them a bit more of a thing to work on, and definitely it will definitely get people more of a chance to get the fastest lap, really. It's better to try and get the fastest lap if you're near the back, pretty much, as well as a few people been disqualified. Liam and Stevie, actually. That's not... They touched, I think, just before turn 1, so that's not good. But everyone else is, I think, fine at the moment. So I think everyone's opted for the same strategy. But Danestar,
Danestar didn't.
I'm not surprised, because I've had experience in overcast conditions. For me, the mediums on overcast conditions is terrible. I've driven around it and I just lose so much time. There's people on the softs that just go past me. I think there was about 5 or 6 cars in Austria that got past me quite a lot. It wasn't the best move for me to start on the mediums. So, yeah, Danestar, I think, has gone for a best option, so he doesn't lose ground on B-Stas, who's on the soft as well. Otherwise, he's going to lose so much time. So, yeah, I think, Danestar definitely did the right thing there. It'll be interesting to see the guys on, and I think Matt as well in P3. He's another driver that was also on the mediums before the restart, and then obviously he's decided on the overcast conditions, and he thinks, right, I think I'm going to work best on the softs rather than the mediums. So maybe the softs are the best tyres on these overcast conditions, but we don't know what the weather is doing. The clouds are a bit darker than I thought it was going to be, so we may see rain, we may not do. That's probably why, but I don't think it's going to be rain soon, because otherwise a lot more people will be on the, maybe a lot more people might be on the softs than usual, but we will have to wait and see as everyone is making their way to the grid.
Yeah, and so Westy also changed strategy. He was on the softs before. He has gone on to the mediums. So we have 2 drivers who went off the mediums and onto the softs in Danestar and Mac. And we also have 1 driver who decided, you know what, maybe the mediums are actually good in Westy. And we'll see what he can do as the last drivers now take up their grid positions, and I think we have everyone in now. Let's hope it works this time. I think it does.
There we go. Finally, the 5 red lights have come on. Who's going to get the best start out of Pav and Jamie? We'll have to wait and see. It's a very long hole. Someone has jumped the start, looks like, and Pav has got a really bad start. Jamie got a very good start in turn 1, and it's already been carnage already before even we go through turn 1. Indecisive Mac has gone all the way down into a really lonely position of P17 right now. so is Pab as well. But Jamie in the lead of this race. And I couldn't see who was P2. I think it's Owen. Yeah, Owen got a really good start off the line. You were right in saying that he would have a good jump. He started P8. He's all the way up into P2. He's done a Westy type start in this race. Incredible.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the incident list right now. There have been a lot of collisions, but there has not been a jump start. Whoever did get away there did get away very well. And not too early.
It might be Nick actually, because sometimes the host sees the green lights for everybody else sometimes. So it might be Nick. It might be Nick.
Yeah, but Nick is down at P17, so
we'll
didn't
see
really
anyway.
work out all too well for him.
We'll have to wait and see. Westy getting another good start as well on
and
the
Owen's
mediums.
in the lead now.
Owen's in the lead.
Owen's made it past Jamie, and Owen is actually in the lead now.
I think he did it just before the start finish straight, as he got the fastest lap, I think, as well. So, yeah, we saw a lot of moves in the space for a few corners. I mean, if he could carry on like this and not get any penalties, he could be one of the favourites tonight to get the second win of the night. He's got to make sure, though, that he could pull the gap to the likes of Astro and Liam. Of course, Liam doing very well to avoid the incident. He's all the way up in P4. He got very unlucky in race 1, where he got caught up with quite a few people, with Astro and Lazy the Twig. But there's no such troubles for our sponsor at One Hub Racing, obviously, who's sponsoring the trophies. It's great to see him up there. Cloudy Balloons trying to make a move past Kingan. Kingan does it holds on to him very nicely, going towards Untitled. I can't even pronounce the corner name. But there we go, as the predicted pit stop strategy is coming up once again. And Owen's already got a really comfortable gap between him and Jamie. He's already out of DRS range. And so is Jamie to Astro. So that's hindered Jamie quite a lot. But I'm impressed that Jamie's still getting P2, as Beastaz trying to get the move into the centre S past Lazy, but Lazy getting the switch back nicely. Oh, look at Lazy. Lazy getting the move. Beastaz getting the move on Cloudy. Cloudy's lost not 1, but 2 positions. But he's going to try and come out it again in turn 4. Oh, no, he stayed behind.
He lost a lot more than just 2 positions. He got overtaken in the centre S by Westy, Ivahan, and Lazy the Twig, and Beastaz. He lost 4 positions there. He got absolutely mugged off. And, yeah, Cloudy losing positions left, right, and centre. They had a really, really bad run. It was Westy who got up his inside. They did touch a little bit. Cloudy lost a little bit of control of the car. Not too much, but certainly enough to slow him down in the middle of the centre S, in the right-hander of the centre S. And then Ivahan flew by. Lazy got a huge run on him. And even Beastaz made it past. And now Cloudy's down to P10. And probably in a little bit of a spot of bother here with Rich right behind him. Rich getting the DRS, using overtake. Throw the kitchen sink at it. Is Cloudy going to defend it? No, he is not. To the inside, Rich goes. Nope, it's not there. He's just a little bit too far away. But we have a lot of battling going on right now. Owen tried to pull a gap, and he does. Almost 3 seconds to Jamie now. Jamie holding on for P2. Has another 3 seconds to Astronauty. And that's really the first battle that we see here. Astronauty seems to be a little bit of a cork in the bottle right now, with Liam, Westy, King, and Ivahanen, Beastaz, and even Lazy the Twig all behind him in a massive train. Do we have to call him Astronauty, or can we call him Astro Trulli at this point?
Astro Trulli. That's quite clever, actually. Pav's been disqualified.
What was that for? Let me check.
He got disqualified for facing the wrong way, apparently.
Yep, wrong way, yep.
So that's another 0 points for Pav. So
he will remain in P18 with the 0 points out of both races.
That's a shame for him.
Here comes Liam on Astronaut. He has the DRS. He doesn't get closer. Look at that. He has no ERS left. 3%. He tries to send one down the outside. And it did not go well. Westy goes past. Kingen is now alongside. I think that, yeah, they will both have DRS. And I think Liam, oh, this is going to get really close. We have Evie Hannon as well there, who's now on the inside. And Liam gets absolutely mugged off here. And Bisas is getting in there as well. Oh, poor Liam. He tried the move on Astronaut and it did not work at all.
I mean, that was a similar thing to what happened to Cloudy Balloons earlier on. He just got so unlucky, probably because of the sheer pace of everybody else, who was a lot faster than Liam, maybe, potentially, as well. So that is Astro up into P3. Can he find a time to get past, potentially, Jamie? Oh,
Westy!
Take touch again.
Westy ran into the back of Astronaut and did actually lose part front wing. So Westy has damage now. Does he go into the pits? No, he does not. He sticks it out. Still wants to make the overtake happen. Has to go the long way around the outside with damage. Still able to make the pass stick before he has to turn in for the center S. What a move with damage. Unbelievable.
I did say Westy could be a threat for the race victory today. He could potentially be the same position as Danestar. I mean, he's doing well with those mediums. I can't even control mediums in overcast conditions. That's just insane. And if Jamie could be at the point where he could struggle on those soft tyres, we could see Westy coming back on the two soft runners as their tyres start to degrade. I think Westy's already catching quite a bit, actually. Maybe Jamie is struggling because he's already dropping a lot compared to Owen. Now, lap 10 is where obviously most of these guys will be pitting. Maybe a few will be going for the undercut a lap earlier, maybe lap 9, as we've seen our first penalty. Pardon?
Owen stays out.
Owen stays out. I wasn't expecting any of them to pit that early yet. But
well, Astronaut comes in.
Wow. So he's going for the undercut then. So here he goes.
That's why I was saying it, because I was expecting people to come in, and they do. Rich as well. So we have two drivers coming in early, and there is no front wing change for Astronaut. So this is a scheduled pit stop, and he comes right back out there. Has to get slowed down a little bit, and no front wing change for Rich either. So these are both scheduled pit stops for Astronaut and Rich, as they rejoin about in P11, it seems, for Astronaut. And Rich might actually fall behind a bit further behind Stevie and Dane there in P14. And even Iberhanen goes past to P15. Maybe even Vitinho in P16. This is going to get really close. Vitinho has the run and makes it past Rich. So Rich now down to P16, actually. So it did. Oh, Indecisive Mac is slow. Ooh. That's turn 5. And I think that's a car that is under... was that under AI control? It almost looked like it. He was ghosted. I don't know if he was under AI control.
Or
but
he might have spun.
Certainly struggling.
He might have spun because I think you do ghost if you spin. So,
yeah, true.
So he might have spun, I think.
Westy's in.
Westy's in, so he's going for the undercut. Very smart. Oh, 5-second penalty. Very smart move, though, for Westy. Like we seen in Belgium, we saw Danestar pitting.
Front wing change for Westy.
Yeah, maybe he's doing that, but also it's probably not a bad move for Westy, even if he has front wing change, because he can try and gain so much time on the ones who have got to go for the mediums and can potentially fight for a podium spot, if not the race win tonight. So Westy has done, I think it's been a blessing in disguise for Westy, really. He's got his front wing change, he's also served one of his penalties, and jobs are good, and that puts him in P10. I don't think he's going to gain that much. I don't think it's going to be a recovery like Danestar did earlier on. Because obviously Danestar, I think, had to pit quite early due to damage. But I think he'll probably pit for soft surely towards the end if he wants to gain position. Now, I'm waiting to see if any of the leaders is going to the pits. And Owen does pit. He does not get a speeding penalty this time, as he's right in the middle of the pit lane, which I think is going to help him as well. Jamie stays out. So does, I think, Beastas as well. Beastas is really catching. He's doing brilliantly. He's saying the fastest third sector and the fastest lap. So, Danestar's out.
And we have... Is that a safety car, virtual safety car? I don't see it pop up, but the whole track is yellow. Do we have the full safety car come out?
Oh, yes, we do. That has worked for... That has worked for the ones who just pitted. That has worked for the one that just pitted. They haven't lost a chunk of time.
That is the exit of... that is, well, in turn 11. that is a spot where you wouldn't really expect it. He apparently spun to the right side on the exit of turn 10. Now, everyone who hasn't pitted will come in now. Obviously, Jamie, Beast has, Lazy the Twig, Liam, Cloudy still have a long way to go. The rest is coming in, Astronauty King and Stevie, Indecisive Mac and Nick. All in the pit lane now.
I think, did we have a virtual safety car at the beginning? Or was there, I don't know, because I think this is the first safety car. We'll see, as obviously you're not allowed to overtake in the safety car conditions. And it's a known glitch that obviously you could get it when you're in the pit lane. Hopefully it doesn't happen for these guys as everyone goes in, as Jamie goes into the pits. Vitinho getting a drive through. That's not good. Speeding under safety car, so you have to serve that. A lot of 5-second penalties for these guys as Lazy goes onto the softs. Now that's going to benefit him quite a lot in his last stint, as is, I think, also, I'm seeing what tire Liam is going on. Oh, it's the mediums as well. Who else I think was on the mediums and going on to the softs? I didn't see who it was, but there we go. Jamie coming back in P2, so he got very lucky in that safety car. I think it was a blessing in disguise for Jamie, really. The podium is still on the cards for him, and it could be a repeat of what we saw in season 13.
Yeah, in fact, having both Owen and Jamie up there, two guys who, you know, they don't make the biggest headlines from racing usually. I mean, Jamie's part of the management, Owen's a commentator, and that's how we know them for the most part. But seeing them up there, I have to say,
ooh,
you know,
being part of the management.
Oh, yeah, and he's out of the race as well.
Oh, that's not good.
Where did that happen? That's exit of turn 3, right side on Indecisive Mac. He just retired. He didn't go into the wall or anything. He just straight retired. There's no tire off this car, I think. Hard to see, really. But that looks very, very interesting. I don't know what happened there. And Vitinho now left the session, so very unfortunate for him, as we did not get the safety car in this lap message just yet. So it's one more lap. So that allows Astronauty King and Rich, Stevie, Nick, and Indecisive Mac to try and catch up with the safety car a little bit further. Gotta remember, this track is only 4.3 kilometers long. It's one of the shortest tracks on the whole calendar. In fact, before the addition of the Dutch Grand Prix, or I mean, they were hoping to add it. Obviously, due to COVID, that didn't happen. But to the first race calendar of 2020, before the Dutch Grand Prix was added, Brazil was the shortest racetrack, barring Monaco. So second shortest basically overall on the whole calendar. The Dutch Grand Prix is a little bit shorter. Austria, who you may think of as being the second shortest, is actually 9 meters longer. It's not much, but it's something.
I learn something new every day, and that's why we have Austin as head of insights and also driver development as well. Yeah, he has official title now. He's not the one who doesn't have the title now. He has an official management title now, which he's going to be there until he leaves, which he's not going to leave. So
I don't intend to.
Yeah, so that's why we have him as one of our statsman. Another statsman being obviously Samster as well. So we are lucky to have 2 statsman. One who has you know, that's great to see anyway. We're not going to see if the safety car comes in this lap, because I don't see.
It should be.
It should be.
Right now, the message should come, and there
we go. There we go.
Aha! I didn't get it on my screen, but yeah, the lights are out on the safety car, so it is actually coming in.
Yeah, it is.
The thing is, one thing how the game works, now that Owen is the leader, so he gets to choose when he floors it. Once he does actually go, he is not allowed to brake again, and there's no overtaking until the finish line. And that is a fantastic restart there by Owen. Jamie completely caught napping, and Jamie now under a bit of pressure there from Lazy the Twig already. And yeah, Owen just absolutely bolting away.
Well, I'm not surprised there really as well. Westy, I think, got a good start as well, and he's already trying to catch B-Stats, but he's under pressure from Dexter, who's in 6th place going into turn 4.
Here comes Lazy.
He's come Lazy as well. Jamie. Easily does it, I think, and he's going to get P2.
Yeah.
Most comfortably, actually.
Yeah, and for Jamie, what I talked about earlier, when I talked about the tricky parts of the track, one of them just caught Jamie off guard. It was the exit curve on turn 4, and that was the one, Jacida de Lago, where he dipped just 2 wheels beyond it, and suddenly the car gets really unstable because the floor of the car actually touches the ground, and as soon as that happens, obviously you don't have as much contact with the wheels to the track, and then the car gets really, really unstable. So that's what caught Jamie off guard there, and that's how he lost that position.
That's a shame, but he's got B-Stas right in front behind him now, and surely he's
no
going to get past
overtake.
him as well. Yeah, there he goes.
B-Stas easy does it. Jamie had no overtaking mode left, no ERS left for this lap.
And there's
had
Westy.
used all of it.
There's Westy as well. Free on. Jamie's got a hand on, so I think that's caught him off guard even more. As Westy on the softs, don't forget, he is he's still on a shot of the podium as he gets past turn 4. There he goes, and for a shot of possibly gaining, he needs to get within a few attempts in order to get in DRS range of B-Stats in third. We can see someone gone off in the background. That's Cloudy and Astronaut having a coming together. I believe, I think we have another safety car or a VSC.
Yeah, we do.
I don't know. Oh my goodness.
It is a full safety car again. The safety car is now on the pit exit. So we get a second safety car. The question is, what are the medium runners going to do? As Stevie is now stopping. Don't know. Oh, that's a massive crash there.
I didn't see that.
I did see the wreck of Cloudy's car. That was a massive impact to the outside wall there, is what that looked like. I think they just tangled up and then both maybe sort of demon drag. To those of you who don't know, demon drag describes basically 2 cars sort of slightly laggy, and they appear on the same side on each other's screen. So, for example, Cloudy appearing on the left side of Astronauty on Astronauty's screen, and Astronauty appearing on the left side of Cloudy on Cloudy's screen. Then they both move each other all the way over to the right. That's what's called demon drag. They drag each other over, and it's completely, from the outside it looks really weird, but that could have happened there. It's a bit of a netcode issue. Either way, they tangled up, and that must have been a violent impact into the wall. Sees both of them out, retire, and Owen stays out. Prioritizes prioritizes
Position.
track position. Thank you, track position over better tire. You got to remember, this safety car period is only going to last around 2 laps probably. I think it will come in at the end of the next lap. Maybe even at the end of this lap. That would be really quick, but I wouldn't put it past the game to call the safety car in already. The message should get, if it does come in, it should come right here. It does not, so it does stay out for 1 more lap. But this is basically where the message always comes with the safety car. At the end of the second sector, and the end of the second sector around this track right here is just before Jungstao, just before that final real corner, that left-hander on the entry to the start-finish straight.
Yeah, one driver that I think that we have 4 drivers that went from their medium tyres to the soft. One of it which was for third place driver Jamie in his team, as he's now in 10th place. So chance of a podium may be slipped at his fingers, but don't forget there's people that's still been on the mediums who are still at a slower pace compared to Jamie. So maybe he could gain a few positions there, and it's all about consistency here. If Jamie even gets a few positions off the start line, he's going to be better than Pav, who obviously retired in both races. Obviously Jamie retired in the first race, as do quite a few drivers actually. So Jamie's going to be probably even better than most of them anyway. And for probably the light outside the top 10, there's more chance of getting the fastest lap. It's up to Nick, Liam and Stevie. 3 people who are on the softs, and they're going to fight for fastest lap in the process as well. It will be interesting to see who gets it. Now let's see who's got it now. B-Stas has got it within the top 10, and with outside the top 10, it's Nick.
Yep.
With a 1:10.3. So but they're quite close though between Liam as well, and obviously Stevie.
Ooh.
So, ooh.
Yeah. Owen warming up the tires because he knows now the safety car is coming in this lap. He was pretty certain about it, and it does actually come in. The field has caught up to the safety car. All of the field, all 13 runners. And once again, Owen is the one controlling the pace. How is Lazy the Twig going to react here? As Owen now floors it, I think Lazy the Twig is a little bit closer. Didn't sleep as much as Jamie did last time. So Lazy the Twig actually close enough there to stay in the DRS. We will only get the DRS actually for one lap, lap 18, because we only have 3 laps left and 2 of those no DRS after the safety car period. So only on lap 18 can you actually use the drag reduction system to make a pass on someone, as Jamie loses another position there as he gets mugged off by Indecisive Mac and Nick 3 wide into turn 4, and Indecisive Mac almost lost the car there. Liam had to watch out there. Indecisive Mac really struggling for car control here, and Liam has to watch out again, trying to get away past, and now he does. They're side by side, and oh no, Indecisive did not leave him any space. Oh man. And now Liam spins into the wall. Liam goes. And that is massive damage to the front wing of his car. He's down to P38. He retires altogether. But meanwhile, up ahead, we have Lazy the Twig. Still, he's not close enough for an attempted overtake here. But certainly close enough to get DRS on the final lap, maybe. Maybe a run to the line. The DRS straight here is long enough to actually catch someone on the line.
Can you check penalties? Could this...
I can, yes.
Yeah, well, we can. Well, obviously, both commentators can check penalties with the task system, but we just have to make do with the race director for this week and next week. After that, we could use the task system for every race after that. So yeah.
Owen, no penalties. Lazy the Twig, 6 seconds. He has another 5-second time penalty, but I think he did serve that. So 6 seconds for him. Beast has 1 warning, no penalties. Owen, by the way, 2 warnings, but no penalty yet. Westy, a 5-second penalty that he served, again, I think, and a 3-second penalty, plus 1 additional warning. Eva Hannon, 3 seconds and a warning. Kingen, 2 warnings, no penalty yet. Dexter, 1 warning, no penalty. Nick, 1 penalty and an additional warning. And Rich, 1 warning, no penalty. Jamie, the last one of the top 10.
Oh, it comes Beastas in to turn 1. He's got Lazy like a nail at the moment. Lazy's just struggling on those soft tyres. Don't worry, they're not on 24 lap older softs. Do not worry, but Beastas is just showing the pace at the moment right now. And obviously we've got Westy as well on the softs. He could be a threat to Lazy the Twig as well. Owen must be loving this. He could just pull away like no tomorrow on those mediums. He's going to get potentially out of DRS range, which is what he wants so far. Could we see him taking the win on track? He's got no penalties, so he probably will take the win unless Beastas can get the run on the line, because he's still within DRS range. This is going to be an insane last few laps. Well, last lap, as we almost saw a battle for the win in Belgium. Obviously, the rain spoilt the party a little bit there. We're heading towards the final few corners. I don't think Beastas is going to do enough to catch up to our race leaders. So Owen comes across the line now. Beastas won the first race of the night, but he's not won the second race. That glory goes to Owen. We wins in Brazil, and he gets her fastest third sector for that glory as well. Beastas again comes across the line in second. We got a lot of penalties. Lazy dropping down way down the order to 9th place. Beastas takes 2nd place and the lead at the championship, with Kingen in 3rd. Rich with another consistent result in 4th place. That should put him higher up in the standings as well. I'll need to check fastest lap, but you were right, Austin. The dark horse you were predicting to win this race has gone on and won it, which continues his point streak around Brazil on the F1 games.
Yeah, at this point, I think you can call me a visionary. You can call me a medium.
You didn't jinx him. I was worried. I was worried you were going to jinx him.
Yeah, I can obviously see the future. Owen wins it, and
oh god!
I gotta say, I am surprised that I didn't actually jinx him, that he actually pulled through and got the win. But at the same time, he had the pace around Spa. It was just that the final lap conditions caught him out, but they gave him a good starting position here. But can we just talk about Beastaz for a second? He almost completed the last to first challenge.
Amazing.
By 1 second, he missed out.
He didn't get the fastest lap though. That goes to Westy at inside the top 10. And outside the top 10, it's Leon. No, Leon's retired. So it's Stevie. So Stevie gets the fastest lap outside the top 10 because he was classified. So let's run through your order. Owen wins from 8th on the grid. Obviously, Beastaz, I would say Beastaz gets driver of the race, I must say, from starting last to second. Well done to him. Kingen in 3rd. Rich, another strong performance 4th. And another strong performance from Eva Hannon as well in 5th. And we got Westy, Nick in 7th. Jamie in 8th. So Jamie gets his first point of the championship. Dexter in 9th. And Lazy in 10th. And obviously, Matt and Stevie being your last remaining finishers, and everyone else did not make the checkered flag. And that concludes our final race of the night before we head next week to Austria and Canada.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm just crunching the numbers right now to get our provisional standings. Give me just a couple of seconds here.
Okay.
Because obviously for every... It's a little bit of a different point system, as we mentioned before. So it's a little bit trickier to add up the numbers. But what I can say is Beastaz in the lead, 39 points. Second place goes to Kingen with 34.
Ooh.
Third place, Rich, also 34, but Kingen is ahead because he got a 3rd place, whereas Rich got 2 4th places.
Consistency is key.
And then we have Owen at 31 in 4th because he got the win. Westy at 31 in P5 and Eva Hannon at 30 in P6. So Dainstar and Vitinho losing out. Dainstar, remember, he was tied with Beastaz after race 1, but because he did not finish this time around, that cost him massively. And so Beastaz, Kingen, Rich, Owen, and Westy, and Eva Hannon are the top 6. Only different. So the difference between those 6, 9 points.
Thank you, whoever came up with the point system for this 4-round championship. I think it was probably Nick and Lukey. So thank you to both of you and whoever else thought of the point system. You're an absolute legend, because with 6 drivers still within a shot, potentially, of getting it, and if you make a mistake, the natural championship over, that's going to get your motivation going. And fair play to Kingen. It's his first one-hub podium that he's ever got. He was close to getting one in podiums here last season, but he got it in the races. That's going to help him going into next week and obviously in the season 16. And it just shows if you get into the top 5 consistently, like Kingen and like Rich, you will be rewarded in being so close to the championship leader.
Yeah, and one thing I maybe have to mention, because otherwise he's going to accuse me of maybe being a little bit biased against him, is that in P7 it's Nick with 27 points. I think otherwise I might get a little DM after the race if I did not mention that.
Yeah, to be fair, Nick done well. He avoided... He obviously, he may have had a bit of damage, but he still came back to get some solid points for 7th place. So he's still not out of the woods yet. So... I don't know, I'm losing count of how many drivers have lost their front wings in the first stint. Quite a lot of people, but we're not going to go through that into detail. We're going to wrap up the stream here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, we would like to apologise about the technical issues that we had during qualifying. Luckily, there was no such issues in the races, so you were able to see full, I need to count here, 11 plus 18, about 30 laps or so. 29, yes. That's it, almost 30 laps of racing, which is a good relief. Hopefully the issues will be sorted by next week. And we've got the final 2 rounds, obviously, because it's a 2-week championship of Austria and Canada. Austria is the one where they'll be doing the full qualifying. Well, that's going to be even closer, I think, than this one in Belgium, because obviously it's one of the quickest laps on the calendar. You know, I'm looking forward to this next week. And thank you, Austin, for joining me in the commentary box this week. And I hope we're going to have lots of fun next week as well.
Yeah, I hope so too. Thank you very much for having me, and I'm very much looking forward to what will be 2 of my favorite tracks,
I agree.
Austria and Canada, next week.
Yeah, I agree as well. I love those 2 tracks, but we won't keep you any longer. I will let you enjoy the rest of your evening. We will see you next week for the final 2 rounds of the Your Creative Will Make It Championship. Will Beastas do enough to keep the lead for the final 2 rounds? We'll have to wait and see. Have a good evening, everybody. Good night.